back live. So we're back live at Football Park as the reserves game's underway. With me in the commentary, Rick Davies and Ian Day. Rico, you've been here grand final day before 3 times, 1976, 1978 and 1983. I suppose the most memorable would be the 1976 game.
Yes, it certainly was, and good morning, everybody. What a magnificent day for the grand final here. The reserves with South Adelaide kicking towards the golf course end, with the Eagles bringing up that first goal through. I think it was Bullis. But what a magnificent day it is here for the grand final. And yes, the grand finals in 1976, 1978. I suppose the only one you really remember is 1976 when you win, and when you get beaten, you like to forget those. But what a magnificent day, and what a magnificent game coming up.
Certainly will be. And just a correction, David Neiman was the goal scorer for the Eagles. He's posted their first, and I suppose the Eagles will go into this game as favourites, having won 2 of the 3 encounters this season against the South Adelaide reserves. Big David Baker, he's been instrumental in ruck for South Adelaide this season. He gets the kick away, ball goes to ground, but well, there's been a free kick picked out there, or is it a mark? And it's going the way of Kerry Brain. He gets the handball out wide. The runner is Jason Turner. He drives it long into the full forward zone. There's a big pack develops there. The ball goes to ground. Coming up with it's Andrew Colby. He's played pretty well during the final series, but that kick was not a good one. And again, it's Forbes on the outer flank. Oh, gee, Rick, this ground is in perfect condition. I've not seen it this good this season.
Yes, this is the best it's looked all year, but what a magnificent day it is. A bit of rain during the week, of course, would really bring it to its peak. And let's face it, South Adelaide last week with Clanger Clengers kicking 8 goals and bringing up the first time that, or the ability for South Adelaide to come into this grand final. But the Eagles have been basically on top all year, and early in this first quarter, it looks pretty even, David.
Well, let's set the scene. South Adelaide won the last encounter in this reserves competition. They beat the Eagles in round 22 by 104 points. They absolutely walloped them, and on that occasion, Trevor Mitten for South Adelaide kicked 10 goals. In round 13, it was the Eagles by 25 points, just getting home. And in round 4 early in the season, when the Eagles really had a full strength of players, they won by 90 points. So there's been a couple of big margins this season. Only the round 13 encounter, a close one, but the Eagles will go into today's clash as the favourites. They finished on top of the minor premiers during the season. In fact, they won 17 and lost 5, and it was a great record in reserves competition.
Yes, it certainly was, and coached by Bruce Winter, of course, coming over from Norwood to follow Neil Baum out to the Eagles. Possibly a very disappointing season for the league side, but this reserve side shaping up here what should be a very, very good pipe opener, you might say, to the big grand final this afternoon.
Just joining us back in the commentary after coming from the boundary line, Ian Day. Ian, I suppose this is an important game for South Adelaide, particularly in view of the fact that their under-17s and their under-19s lost last week's grand final.
Yes, David, when John Reid came back to the club, they picked up from grassroots, and as you say, all 4 teams got into the final series. It'd be nice to carry off the premiership.
Paul Bullis, cleverly marked and played on quickly. He's going to be a focal point today for this side, and if Big Bullis can take in some marks and kick some goals, the Eagles could really set themselves up.
Well, David, he's had a lot of league experience, hasn't he? He's a long-haired lad, very skinny type of lad, but he's got the ability up there, and of course, along with David Neiman, a couple of years ago, very, very bright prospect, and with him and Bullis up there, they look a very formidable opponent.
Yes, Rick, he's played 21 games, and I've got to tell you, we're not as fit. White's been run down, and the umpire said holding the ball, so that's got to come back to the West Torrens player. Coming up those stairs makes you realise that maybe we're not as young as we used to be. Freeborn kicks in towards the pocket. Bullis comes out to meet the ball. He's got it. Now he's lost as they go towards the line. It's hard work down there. The umpire will have to come in and bounce surely as the players stack up. Bullis over the top. That's one player you can't miss with the long hair. Umpires in charge this morning and this afternoon, Tim Pfeiffer and Richard Williams. Throw away in towards goal. Heavy tackle again when he didn't appear to have the ball, but South Adelaide will come away high towards the half-back line, and David Baker underneath the football.
Baker's been prominent early. The handball goes out. That's cleverly gotten away to Damien Cox. He's been a good player during the final series as well. McCarthy, in fact, Lukosius it was for the Eagles, couldn't pick up the crumbs. Goes to ground. Is that holding the ball? Yes, said the umpire. It's a South Adelaide free kick. It's going to Kerry Brain. No, in fact, it's going back to Glenn Forbes. former Port Adelaide player. Hasn't played a league game this year, but he really has persevered with the Panthers. Drives long to Clengens, and that may well be out of bounds on the full. No, it's a mark paid. How did you see that, Rick?
Yes, well, I thought the umpire thought he had it, and this fella here, number 34, with the tats all over his arm and the long hair, kicked 8 goals. And you can see there, I suppose he had it for long enough. It just managed to escape him. 8 goals last week. Big game last week to get South Adelaide into this grand final.
McCarthy in defence for the Eagles. Now they'll need to work it out. Foot is tackled by Brain. The ball goes to ground. Clengens gets it out. The running player now is Ian Cox. He goes goalward. Is it South Adelaide's first? It is.
Yes, well, Ian Cox, beautiful movement there by Clengens, number 34. We mentioned him a couple of seconds ago. Dropped the ball, but the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. He shot the ball into centre half forward, followed it up beautifully. Very, very aggressive player. Played a lot of leagues football, and he in turn got it over to Ian Cox and brought up South Adelaide's first major.
Even Stevens in the reserves grand final. 1 goal both teams. Chapman gets it out. Intercepted brilliantly there by South Adelaide as they go forward. The handball comes away towards Forbes. He's upended by Lukosius. Lukosius is going to have to work hard for this now. Taps it cleverly out. And Chapman gets the handball away, and Zilla back in defence. Slips it out. Here's a chance now for the Eagles to get the ball out of attack through Stone. Stone kicks long towards the half-forward line. That's well put. A good mark taken there by Neiman. Neiman playing at centre half-forward. He's got Bullis on the lead. Out goes the big fellow now, and he's got it. Oh, gee, that's a top pass. That is a beautiful pass. Lace out into the forward pocket, and Bullis from about 35 metres.
Yes, beautiful mark there by Big Neiman. A lot of league experience, and Bullis on a beautiful lead. He stopped in his tracks, but it just managed to go over the top of the pack, and a lovely mark.
He's virtually kicking almost into the teeth of this breeze. It's going to be a struggle to make the distance even from 35 metres out, and I'm sure you that South will be happy to concede the point, or is he going to pay the mark? Groom it is to relieve the pressure for South Adelaide to the outer side. Baker sets himself. Over the top came Chapman, brilliantly picked up by Zilla. Back here now to Popplestone. He puts it up for grabs. Zilla's there in the middle of the pack, comes over the top, can't get it. Zilla left it behind. Foot had a running shot at it. Gee, it's hard work in there, and finally South Adelaide will come away, and they'll run out of defence.
They did that pretty well. 39 was Damien Cox. He's been instrumental in early attacks. Now Dewhurst. He's a player of some senior experience, and that's a beautifully placed kick. And out at centre half forward. A great mark's been taken by Glenn Forbes.
Yes, a lovely mark by Forbes. Beautiful movement by South Adelaide, because they were under enormous pressure there at the Eagles full forward, but they turned it over, and Forbes to shoot for goal.
Forbes has kicked 22 goals in the reserves this season from 24 games. He knows how to kick them. That one looks a dead set goal. It is.
Beautiful mark there by Glenn Forbes. As I said a couple of seconds ago, South Adelaide turned the ball over in the Eagles' attacking area, and Dewhurst, beautiful work there by Baker, also coming through that centre line. Beautiful kick, and big Forbes, number 28, there he is on your screen, and it just goes to show you what the wind is worth, a couple of goals.
Thrown out towards centre wing. It's 2 goals to South, 1 to the Eagles as the ball comes towards the half-forward line. There for South Adelaide, it was Turner that got the ball out. Here's a chance now. Brain on the run, and that is home. Brilliantly done through the half-forward line, his first, and South have now got 3 without a miss.
Beautiful movement by South Adelaide, and just goes to show you Ian Day was down on the boundary a couple of minutes ago and mentioned there's a little bit of breeze going down towards the golf course end. There certainly is. Glenn Forbes a couple of seconds ago, beautiful kick, and here it is, number 30 in your screen. Young Brain streams towards goal and shot the ball right over the top of the goalkeeper's head there, and brought up South's third goal.
I suspect that breeze has blown up just a trifle. South Adelaide kicking with it. Richard Williams bounces the ball. Baker bumps the ball to ground. Cleverly done. Dewhurst gets it out. The running players of South Adelaide are streaming down. This is Cox. Goes through half forward. The target was Forbes over that player's head. 41 for the Eagles. Drifting back on it is Andrew Colby. But the ball beats him out of play, and we'll have a throw in.
Well, big Baker, David Baker, who came out first for the South Adelaide reserve side. Obviously the captain of the day. And what a magnificent player it is.
And grand final day live, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. A very popular decision by the league, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people at home having barbecues, enjoying the day. And the KG show will incorporate interviews in the locker room with the winners and the losers. And no doubt whoever wins, everyone that will be at Football Park today will have a great day.
David, it's a sort of spring day. I reckon the breeze will spring up a bit. I mentioned down on the ground that it was only worth about a goal, but I tend to think it'll probably get 2 or 3 before the day's out. But I've noticed commentators over the years look at the flags too much, and they just tend to make a little bit too much of the wind. Getting onto the ball is Mitten. Oh, he has a soccer off the ground but can't keep it in play. Possibly went off the legs there of Troy Searle and went out of play. A throw in. Right forward pocket, Jason behind post. South in attack, kicking with the breeze, leading by 12 points. The bodies will go in. At the back over the top there came McCarthy. Forbes is there as well. Hooking around the corner now is McEnany back towards the half-back line. South Adelaide player with a football on the ground. The umpire is going to ball it up, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And that was young Andrew Osborne who had the football in the right full forward pocket. Umpire Richard Williams puts it down. The bodies go in again. Thumped towards the line by McCarthy, out of play, so it'll be a throw in on South's half forward right flank.
Yes, well, a bit of movement here right in the right forward pocket for South Adelaide. Went right on with the job last week, and the Eagles are sitting on top of the premiership. They're going to have to do something here because, as the boys have mentioned, a little bit of breeze down there, and I think you'll find the wind's blowing into that pocket, and that's the main reason that the ball is finishing up there.
Lukosius gets the ball out to McEnany. The kick is a low one. In the general direction there of Sean Hannum. Couldn't find that player. Baker for South Adelaide watched the ball across the... Doesn't he look an imposing sight with that big beard, David Baker? Plenty of league experience. Not much this year, unfortunately. In fact, 4 league games this year. Now the ball goes forward. Jason Turner was the player who drove it forward. Clengen's not there. Well, that's great work deep in defence there. That was Searle. He drove the ball long. Now it's Hannum and the opportunity at centre field. Almost 12 minutes played, first term of the Reserves Grand Final, live from Football Park. Oh, and a big fly, Bullis. He's certainly attacking the ball today. Good work in defence there for South Adelaide. In fact, it was Mills who got the ball away to White. The big spoil was McCarthy. Now Baker, he's playing well. South Adelaide are running again. It's Turner. He's been instrumental. He got the ball from Osborne. Now running through half forward. Harrison, 2 bounces, 3. Inside 50, lines up the goals. In fact, he drives it to the point of the square. Clengens is there. A fist by the Eagle defence. Clengens goes to ground. Oh, that's a strong tackle. Searle was the Eagle player who applied the tackle. Now gets out the handball. Lukosius. He doesn't keep his feet. Colby over the top of the ball. He gets off the handball. This is good support and run from the Eagles in defence. McEnany keeps the ball long and low. That's a beautifully paced kick, and Hannum is creating some run across half forward. Popplestone, 60 out, drives long. Bullis is the target. The big fella sits on it. He's got it. Well, Ricky looked like he was setting himself for a big day earlier. He's attacked every ball that's come into the forward line, and that was a great mark.
Yes, he certainly has, and you can see it here on your screen. He was always going to take the ball, and the Eagles were always going to turn over from South Adelaide right in their forward pocket, and he's lining up from about 30 metres out. But very good work by Popplestone, a very good mark there by Paul Bullis, and he should bring up a goal.
So Bullis, close proximity, has put it right through the middle.
Yes, well, the Eagles are under a little bit of pressure there. 13 minutes into this first quarter. South Adelaide coming up with 3 straight goals. Yes, they are kicking with a bit of a breeze. I would say in the vicinity of 2 or 3 goals. The Eagles didn't look like it. Big Baker's really fisting the ball away there at the centre. The Eagles in turn, beautiful takeover. They turned the ball over, down to Popplestone to Bullis, and he finished it off.
It's the Panthers by 6 points. 14 minutes into the Reserves Grand Final. Tapped away. Foot now sends the Eagles into attack up towards the half-forward line. Back in defence for South Adelaide. It is Cox who hooks the ball back towards the half-forward line. McEnany getting back underneath the football. Forbes with a chance now for the Panthers. Chips out the pass into the right forward pocket. Mitten's got it well now. Shoots in towards goal. Going to be close. I think he's got it. Oh, what a brilliant goal. And South has booted their 4th.
Yes, well, South Adelaide really came back. The Eagles scored an easy goal there, but there it was. And here it is over the top. Beautiful work there by Forbes. He saw the player. Look at that. Beautiful movement. Came down there. Beautiful pick up there by Harrison. And he streamed towards goal. And you can see the breeze. He got into the air a little bit, and the breeze just drifted it through. A beautiful kick by South Adelaide there. And he is very, very happy. And they go to 4 goals to 2 goals.
Mitten could well be the danger man. We've mentioned already he kicked 10 goals against the Eagles reserves in round 22. He kicked 3 goals last week against West Adelaide, 6 the week before in the qualifying final. So he certainly knows how to kick the goals. It's the Eagles into attack, but a great mark taken by White. Playing deep in defence, looks to play on quickly. The handball goes across the top to Cox. This is Ian Cox. Now Baker at centre field. He's playing well, the big fellow, setting it up at centre field. Harrison it was who got the handball away. Now driving through the centre of the field was Mills, and stolen deep in defence. Great work back there for the Eagles, and that's Gavin Ettridge. He gets the grubber along the grandstand flank. There's a push in the back, and it will go to the Eagles, a free kick. And that appears to be...
Yes, the umpires are really on the ball with David. Anyone that's in front and getting their first touch of the football, the umpires are giving them every chance, exactly like they should be doing in a grand final. It was Jason King, in fact, who put that ball forward, but now the Eagles go through Bullis, and he really is running at every ball. The key forwards for the Eagles are firing. Neiman from centre half forward drives long, and he's goaled as well. Yes, well, the Eagles are really coming back goal for goal. South Adelaide scored an easy one straight after the Eagles had, but look at Bullis in the front spot, picks it up, handballs it across to Neiman, and from the 50-metre line into a slight breeze. He's put it out to the left-hand side. He went for the top of the left-hand goal post, and the breeze just brought it back, and a well-deserved goal there by the Eagles side.
Panthers still by 6 points. McGrath is on the ground for the Eagles, but it's Baker who gets the tap away in towards centre. Popplestone missed it. It's thrown out there now by McGrath and kicked into attack by Ziller up towards the half-forward line. Big Mark Neiman, and he's already providing a dangerous forward spot there for the Eagles. He's already booted 2. Been around a while in the wash-up between the 2 clubs. He's found himself mainly in the reserves. A huge talent, only 19 years of age, as he kicks towards the goal. It's not a bad-looking kick. The umpire says he's got number 3. What a start for the youngster. His 3rd goal. In fact, it's 3rd without a miss, and it's his 3rd out of 4. And that ties up the ball game at 4 goals apiece.
Beautiful mark there by the big fella. I can remember seeing his first game down at Theberton. He was at full forward, and he did exactly what he's doing today. He's made front spot. I think everyone's been picking on him because he can't kick a long way. Well, he kicked that ball at least 65 metres, as dead as an arrow, and he, with 3 goals, is really looking the danger player here for the Panthers.
Neiman, Rick, one of the reasons perhaps he hasn't been able to kick a long way this season is he missed 11 weeks with a knee injury. Trained with the Crows over the summer, but as Ian Day mentioned, he really is a talent. Mills to the outer side. He looks for the safety of the boundary line. Clanger-Clengens takes off after it, but the ball has beaten him out of play. So we're 18 minutes into the first term of the reserves grand final day live from Football Park. It's the Eagles and South Adelaide locked away at 4 straight goals. Rare in a grand final to see 8 goals without a miss. Now the ball to ground. Popplestone, cleverly done, gets it out to the running player in Nick Petch. This young teal cupper is an exciting player for the Eagles, but the kick hasn't found its mark, and Groom deep in defence for South Adelaide. Lifts the eyes, the lead is on. Oh, that's Randall Bone. We haven't seen him at all. He's just come off the interchange.
Yeah, he came off the interchange, Ken. Make that, David.
Thank you, Daisy. Ball goes long. Oh, it's juggled. Lukosius tried to claim the ball. Goes to ground now to Foot. Well, he's been running. He's played in a reserves grand final, David Foot, before back in 1984 with the Eagles. But, he really hasn't had much in terms of fitness this year, and he finds himself in the reserves.
Forbes
also doing well at centre-half forward. So the key forwards are firing for both sides. The ball to ground. Cox into the open goal. He's lifted the eyes. Goodness me, he's got it. Conditions are perfect. That's his second.
That's our second goal there. There he is on your screen, number 36. He did an absolute treat there. And this is a seesawing game, isn't it? 5 goals to South Adelaide now. 9 goals without a miss. Very good football, and as David said a couple of seconds ago, very rare in a grand final. There is a bit of a flickering breeze down to the golf course end, but both sides are going in hard. A very good game of football here in the first quarter of about 19 minutes, so this first quarter is almost over, but a very good grand final.
Rick, he and I went down to the ground, to the change rooms before the start of the game, and both sides were very, very relaxed. I don't know that I've ever seen two sides before a grand final so relaxed. Perhaps that's one of the reasons we're getting 9 straight goals.
Well, yes, but conditions are perfect. I don't know why you'd be relaxed in a grand final. Keem on the lead, and that's a perfect pass from Mitten, and it's beautifully put, and Keem with a chance now from 30 metres out. 9 goals without a miss, and I think the beauty of all this is the fact that later on in the afternoon, when the two senior sides come onto the ground, wind is not going to play a big part in the result of the game. And I think it's always the element of wind that destroys a game of football more than anything. Nice looking kick, and once again that's through the middle. 6 goals to South, 4 to Eagles. You can't do better than that at the 20-minute mark of the reserves grand final.
Well, a very good game of football here. So early in this game, the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, 10 goals without a miss, 6 to South Adelaide and 4 to the Eagles. Very good game. Mitten, beautiful work there to Keane, and he kicked it right over the top of the goalkeeper's their head, and he had no hesitation. Very happy with himself. I would say that the coaches would be very happy with this first quarter, because it's very important to get away with a good start. South Adelaide kicking 6 goals is a pretty good so far this quarter. Pretty good first quarter score.
6 straight goals, South Adelaide. The Eagles 4 straight goals. The margin 12 points. 21 minutes into the first term of the grand final. Randall Bone up, was against Rowan McGrath. The ball goes to ground. Now finally your players diving on top of the ball, and again there'll be a bounce. Now it's rare looking through a side in the reserves that you see 4 players with Crows potential. There are 4 players out there. Randall Bone for South Adelaide is one of them. He's number 12 for South Adelaide. You've got number 35, David Neiman at centre-half forward for the Eagles. Paul Bullis, number 5 at full forward for the Eagles. And number 50 for the Eagles is Damien McCarthy. So 4 real great junior talents on display today in this match. Randall Bone, one of the players we mentioned, thumps the ball to ground. Out it comes. Finally, it's picked up by Shane Stone. He drives the ball long towards centre-half forward, and Groom has beaten Neiman on this occasion. That's a great contest between those two juniors. Ball wide now. Running player there appeared to be Cox. He gets the ball now to Bone. Watch him go. He is a talent like Sean Wren. He's raw, but he's good. Now Harrison has time for a bounce. He's done that before today. Lifts the eyes, goes goal, and oh, that's a great goal.
Well, what a magnificent goal there. As you mentioned a couple of seconds ago, David, Big Bones doing a treat. He's taken over from Baker in that centre bounce, and he's been very, very prevalent in this first quarter. But what a magnificent kick. He kicked one a couple of seconds ago, I think, and he streamed through. Now he's only brought up his first, and there he is sitting on the ground. Look at him jump up in the air. He's that happy with himself, and so he should be, because 11 goals without a miss in this first quarter is great football.
South Adelaide by 18 points. Bone from the left, McGrath from the right. At the bounce, line ball that one as Cox tried to get it out of the middle, couldn't get it out. Finally it comes out there to the Eagle player in Pesh. Half forward line, Zilla can't quite. Coming in to meet it now is White. White didn't get a kick away. Popplestone goes in hard. Now going in hard at Hannum again, or Zilla it was out there. Mills for South Adelaide. The two redheads together. It's the redhead of Ian White that takes the ball to the outer side, making pursuit out there is Turner, but it beats him to the line for a throw-in. 7 goals to the Panthers, 4 to the Eagles. 23 minutes into the grand final day, coming to you live on Nine's Wide World of Sports, 11 right through 6 p.m. and what a great day is lined up for you on your favourite Channel 9.
Yes, well, it certainly is a good day, and Daisy, really, when you look at it, this type of football is really great, because the reserve sides are usually, they make a lot of mistakes, but this game today, they haven't been making the mistakes. They've been getting hold of the football, they've been shepherding, as you just saw a couple of seconds ago. They've been running flat at the football, and this is really developing into a very, very good game of football.
Glenn Jones over the top. Well, what an exciting player. Just to look at him with the long hair all over the body, you can see the, well, all the body work. Greg Clengen's point-blank range is perhaps best known for doing a handstand after he kicks a goal. On this occasion, he just boots it. It's South's 8th without a miss, and that's unbelievable football. And just to speak about Rick, and once again, have a look at Mitten. We'll have a look at that mark in replay, and look at the boy. He's not all that tall. He came over the top of Keane. He left the Eagle defence for dead. And just getting back to what Rick said, I think the important thing is, Rick, it is good football. It's skillful football. They're kicking goals, and it's going to get the crowd into a good mood for the big one.
Yes, it certainly is, and the conditions, as you mentioned, beautiful conditions, absolutely perfect for high marking and long kicking.
Well, this is ominous for the Eagles as South Adelaide blitz to a 24-point lead, almost into time on as the ball goes to ground. Randall Bone, McGrath charges at him. The ball gets gathered in by Nick Petch. Chapman couldn't dispatch the kick. Then it was left to Forbes. Oh, Dewhurst, the handball was intercepted. There was a free kick given. Now the umpire allows the play on. His foot comes short. Well, he was in two minds there, and he just chipped it in the finish on the left boot. Oh, there was an untidy tackle left to go on. Bone gets it away. Now Turner long towards full forward. Great mark deep in defence, Colby, against Cox, and the Eagles really will need to hold this last 4 or 5 minutes. They'll have the use of the breeze during the second quarter as Colby's kick goes long. There's a great nudge underneath that ball by Damien Cox. It was against Zilla. Now the ball goes to ground, and Chapman has given away a free kick to Dewhurst. Now he threw it away to the wrong player. That could almost have been 50 metres. Yes, Dewhurst at half forward, lifts the eyes, goes for a long torpedo, rare kick these days, almost as rare as the old drop kick. Foot dispatches a kick wide. Popplestone started well, gets over the handball. I know his dad Bill is watching him today, Robbie Popplestone. He'll be keen to impress. That's of course across from Melbourne. There's an FAD, no, not paid, and the mark deep in defence to Groom.
Groom from centre half back. Neiman's already given him a headache with 3 goals. Thumped away well. Here's a chance now as Pesh gets it out. Hannum kicks in long. That's going in high. Bullis getting underneath it, but without any real chance of taking the mark. And the ball is out of play in the full forward right pocket.
Yeah, Ian, when one of the South Adelaide players, young Clengens, then ran flat chat, and he caught the Eagles player. I can't remember which one it was, but he caught the player. I thought it was great anticipation by the umpire not to pay it down the ground.
Tamke got it out to Damien Cox. He had a magnificent run down grandstand side just a little while ago. He finds Costa for South Adelaide. Transfers play up towards Forbes on the half-forward line, but it's well destroyed there by Lukosius coming over the top, and the ball is out of play on the half-forward right flank. We're into time on in the reserves grand final, coming to you live on Nine's Wide World of Sports, and the throw-in is almost up to centre wing, but about 70-80 metres.
Isn't it a magnificent day today, boys? Because really, when you look at it, you wake up in the morning when you're the players playing in the grand final, you think to yourself, you beauty, I can really put my efforts in today, and it's worked that way. And in this first quarter, Clengens has got a chance to really finish it off.
Clengens gets it over to Keane, walk-in goal, he's driven it, and he's missed it. Can you believe that? Well, it should have been a lay-down Mazzara, certainly, just a routine play. And Rick, I think he almost had an airy.
Yes, he certainly did. He didn't know whether to shoot it onto his right leg or left leg. He decided to go with his left. And I suppose it's a bit interesting in the game because it brings up the first point.
Well, let's not be too harsh on him. He is, in fact, the leading goal scorer in the reserves competition. 81 before today's game, and he's been a magnificent full forward for this reserve side. And I suppose you're allowed one error. That ball out of bounds on the full. South Adelaide will take the free kick. Ian Cox, the recipient. The former local junior, nicknamed Slick, so the way he delivers the ball, goes towards centre half forward. Now there's an infringement there, as it was against Randall Bone. Rowan McGrath, it was the recipient. Bone almost gave away 50 by not throwing the ball back. Oh, great work, Searle, to run into space there, but Clengens is right there with him. McEnany mops up, but lost sight of the ball. Finally, it goes out to Dewhurst, who thumps the ball forward. Over the top of it, Petch, the young junior. He's taken to ground. Play on the call. Now, finally, oh no, the ball's not coming out. Searle again over the top of the ball. Clengens dives desperately on top of it. Popplestone on top of him, and there will be a bounce.
Very good work there by both teams, David, because usually in a reserves game, you can see someone running in and doing something stupid. Not too many league games you see someone not doing something stupid, but that's very good play by both sides.
Well, there's a bit of experience in both these sides, having having a look through it earlier. There's Ian Borchard, the Panthers coach. He's tasted grand final success as the captain of West Adelaide senior side in 1983 against your team, Rick. Memory you'll remember, I'm sure, perhaps not cherished. Zilla taken to ground, play on the call. Groom comes up with the ball. That's cleverly done. Dispatches the handball. South Adelaide go forward. Let's try Tamke, perhaps. Apologies if it wasn't the right players, but Keane now with the mark, 45 metres out, directly in front. Breeze assisted, he will make the distance.
Yes, I thought that he was a bit lucky, the umpire, when he got up off the ground then, David. There's your player. He got him right in the snout there, and he'd be a little bit disappointed. But I suppose if you don't let go, you deserve, well, the other player deserves to get you off his back.
That was Ettridge you were talking about, but Keane chance to make amends for that disappointing kick before, and he's drilled it right through the middle. South Adelaide's ninth there, 9 goals won, the Eagles a 4 straight goal.
When young Keane comes in to kick, he looks like a little bit of an awkward kicker of the football, but a beautiful mark right over the top of his left shoulder there, and brought to ground by the Eagles player there. Beautiful mark. See the way he rushes in there? He looks a little bit off balance actually from up here in the stand, but if you look at the goal umpire there, he didn't think there was anything wrong with it. A beautiful goal there by South Adelaide, and really when you look at it, any side for a long time that's kicked 10 goals in a quarter doesn't usually lose the game.
At the bounce, it's Bone again who goes up unattended. Going through was Cox, couldn't get the run of the football, and he'll give a free kick away centre field. South, of course, last win premiers in 1979. The Eagles were in their first year, so they've hardly had a recent or a previous premiership. Centre wing, Neiman can't get it out. Bone goes in hard. In there for the Eagles as well as Hannum, Sean Type, and the umpire will come and bounce on the half-forward left flank.
It's interesting you should mention that, Daisy, because the Eagles, I think, have in fact won 17 reserves as West Torrens and 1 as Woodville. So collectively, the amalgamated teams have won 18 reserves premiership.
Fine effort, and the umpire's seen a free kick there, or is he going to rebounce the football? Takes a bit of courage to admit that you make a mistake. Even the umpires can do them. At the bounce, Neiman used his strength to get the ball out in front of Costa, and or going through strong there was Chapman. Thrown out now to the outer side foot. Oh, he's got a running player, but the handball to King was poor. South Adelaide through Temke. He's got a high tackle, I think. Siren sounds. Great first quarter by South Adelaide in the reserves final. They lead 9-1 to the Eagles 4 goals.
So the margin at quarter time, 31 points to South Adelaide, 9 goals won, Eagles 4 straight goals. We'll be back with the second quarter of the reserves grand final after this break.
Sure will, mate. Do anything.
I just need my...
There's 8 goals, 9-1-55.
Just put the thing on. Okay. So,
Just gonna...
do you want to let Brian know? David will do the scoreboard and Rick will do the goals.
What's your next, Dave?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Rico.
Yeah, testing 1, 2.
We are.
Yep.
We're fine. Beachy.
Brian can hear me at the moment, can he? David Mackay to do the scoreboard, Rick Davies to do the goals.
Yep.
And then a bit of a chat.
Okay. Well, look,
And then we throw to our roving reporter. Okay?
welcome back to Football Park in the Reserves Grand Final. South Adelaide, the Panthers, 9 goals won, 55, tremendously straight kicking, lead the Eagles 4 straight goals.
Yes, and the goal kickers there, of course, for the Eagles, Neiman 3 and Bullis 1. And for the Panthers, 9 goals in that first quarter, led by Keane with 2, and a heap of players there on 1.
Yes, well, during the course of the day, Rick, we've got Neville Roberts going around doing some interviews around the place. Let's go to him now and see what he's up to.
As usual in the car park, there's plenty of people enjoying the sun and the hospitality. Some people over here, though, I think they've got their colours mixed up today.
Hey.
You blokes are at the wrong ground.
No, our seconds are in, Rocky.
Oh, of course it is. That's why you got all the caps on.
That's right, mate.
Are you celebrating or drowning your sorrows for the year?
Have a smell of that. It's only Coke.
Oh. Yeah.
No, we'll win
We'll
win the seconds, but we hope that West Adelaide wins the A grade. They've played very, very hard football for the last 15 weeks, and I think that they're only got to stand the hard bumps of Kim Klomp in the first 5 minutes.
Indeed.
And then they'll win it.
Do you think he's lost for work?
It's been a disappointing user for me, the looking face. Get up, mate. Yeah, good yourself.
I'm losing money.
You're losing money. Well,
This is bad for public
this
image.
looks very bad.
That's his.
You've been a devoted Eagles supporter for many, many years.
Oh,
It was a good year for you, though, wasn't it?
It was a great year, disappointing in the end, and the fact that we bombed out a bit, but
Yeah.
the lads worked hard, and I think Barmy, I think he was the instrument to put it all together. Well, I've got to hold that day. My old mate Sir James. Well, I think Barmy
Worth a
put it all-
dozen.
Well, it's got to be a dozen, Mr. Grist.
That's right.
But I think Barmy pulled it together and got the two clubs together and got the cream of our talent, and next year we'll be there.
Well, good luck. Hope you have a good day, and I might just join him for a drink.
I'm sure he would, Rocky. David Sabine will give you one. The other man there was Les Harrison, one of the fundraisers for the Eagles side, and he does a great job. So Rocky's picked him up early. So it's back to the second quarter of the Reserves Grand Final. Your commentator is Ian Day.
Going through very strongly and being hipped off the ball there was Zilla. Finally the ball comes out towards centre wing, but the umpire's picked up a free kick. It's going the way of the Eagles, and let's see who's going to get it. It's going back where? It's going back to Robbie Popplestone from centre field to send the Eagles into attack. They're kicking with the breeze. We said it was only slight, probably worth a goal. 9-1 to 4 goals. A huge start by South Adelaide. Half-forward line. Pesh gets unloaded. Gets it quickly in there to Chapman. Smothered off the boot somewhat. South working hard through Damien Cox, and he's probably happy to concede the ball going over the line for throw-in in the right forward pocket. Unbelievable kicking by both teams in that first quarter. Possibly that's the type of day it is. Normally this time of the year you can get some nasty breezes, and you've always known, or we've known for some time, that kicking to that right side of your screen and the oval is always difficult. Here's a chance. Zilla hooks it back. It's not a bad attempt. He's just a little offline, 1 point only. And now the Eagles have blemished their score. They've got a point on the board, 4-1. South is 9-1.
Well, the umpires today, Pfeiffer and Williams, and the coaches, I would have thought that David would have been pretty happy with both sides at quarter time.
I'm sure you'd be, you're right, it was a good settling down quarter, Rick, and often players take at least a quarter to settle down in the grand final, but these two teams have been very disciplined today. There's a free kick against foot. It will go to Dewhurst. We should just point out too that just a high tackle in replay.
Very sore on the shoulder there, I would have thought, David. That would have got him right on the tip of the AC joint.
Yes, it did, and the kick wasn't very good. He's really feeling the effects. Osborne it was who went to ground. Now the crumbs are picked up. Goes out now. Kick gets away by Shane Stone, but misdirected, and Randall Bone with the mark at half-back. Grandstand side, he elects to go short. Good work. One of the better players, Jason Turner, hasn't played a league game yet for the Panthers, but on today's performance he won't be far away from it. Kick is a ranging left footer, thumped away towards the boundary line and out of play.
The most pleasing thing about South Adelaide, David and Ian, are that they're always in front spot. I've noticed in the last 20 or so minutes what's making South Adelaide, get the ball up into their forward lines. They're always in front. They're getting first use of the ball, and that's what's keeping them in the game, or kicking 9 goals in that first quarter.
I can tell you, Craig Dewhurst is not well. He's still got a trainer with him, feeling that shoulder. And as Rick told you, when you get a knock there, it hurts. That joint doesn't sit properly. It aches, I can tell you. Craig Dewhurst with an enormous experience. South need him on the turf, but only time will tell. Ball comes out now through Lukosius. Tried to break the tackle, only got it as far as Mills. He got dispossessed, and going in very hard there for South was Turner. Zilla's at the bottom of the pack, and umpire Williams will come in for the bounce.
And I've noticed that things have slowed down a little bit after that very fast first quarter there. The ball doesn't seem to be shooting around. There's a little bit more packs. I know it's only a couple of minutes into the second quarter, but that first quarter would have taken a lot out of both sides.
It's getting warm out there too, Rick, and I mentioned earlier that I think you'll find there'll be some tired players at the end of the day. If it gets to 30 degrees, gee, it'll be the best place to be sitting will be up here or in the stand watching. Throw in almost centre wing. McCarthy against Bone. Bone puts his body in front, did well for the young boy. Got it out now to Turner, the half-forward line. Getting back on it there was McEnany, couldn't do it. Clengen's through. The handball's more in hope than anywhere. Forbes is going to lead in the race. Coming through, Clenjans can't get it. Oh, the player there was held without the ball, and Ettridge not getting a free kick, and the umpire says play on. He's giving it the other way. It's going the way of Keane. Keane now plays on quickly into the pocket, and getting back on the ball is McEnany. Here's a chance now. Cox puts it back, going through strongly. Mitten hooks around, and it is offline for a point, and that takes the Panthers now on to 9-2. The Eagles 4-1.
Yes, well, most of the players, after they've had a bit of a spin, they go down on their knees. As you mentioned, very, very hot day. 4 or 5 goals in front. It's up to the Eagles now to try and get a little bit of play down the centre of the ground. That's the easy way to go and try and peg back this lead.
Switch in direction to the grandstand wing. Good lead there by Searle. He's done well coming down from defence. Breaks the tackle, dispatches the kick forward. It goes towards Zilla at half forward. He dives. In fact, that's Jason Zilla. Remember, of course, brother Stephen is playing in the number 53 Guernsey, so there's 2 Zillas out there. They look very similar too. Should have made that differentiation earlier. Ball back into play. Neiman opposed to Groom. It was Neiman with the tap, but stolen there. South Adelaide bound away. On the left boot, kick is dispatched forward, and it was Cox from defence and Troy Searle, Damien Cox. 2 Coxes playing, Ian and Damien, no relation. Now Groom, been a good battle between him and Neiman. These youngsters really are 2 promising players. Brain got a bad bounce. Searle came through. Now it's Clengens. He hasn't done a lot today, but he certainly tried very hard. Now Zilla, Jason type towards half forward. No mark taken. Ball to ground. Groom again dispatches the ball on Ian Cox, and I think Rick's point about players just slowing up is now very evident.
Yes, well, they have started. They're not kicking as far. But let's face it, it's all right to say it from up here, but it would be very, very hot down on the ground. And that first quarter, they didn't give anything away both sides. So it's going to be interesting at the end of this. I bet they'll be really looking forward for a spell at half-time.
Well, Neiman upended Groom there. The umpire saw it. He comes in to sort it out. There's a definite free kick. I think they were just working each other out.
He's also starting to get a little bit on top too. He really is, and you can see there that, yes, but he also got in front, David, didn't he? He tried to get in the front spot, and that's the place to be. Although in this situation, probably not.
Chris Groom doesn't look all that healthy. 3 trainers there, as you can see, and the umpire's going to allow them to play on and run round the mark. It's going to be Ian Cox from half-back flank, sends the ball towards the wing. At the back there, big leap, however, by Chapman wasn't successful, as going through there. He gets the ball. McCarthy's there as well. Zilla chases the ball out of bounds, and it's a throw-in on the half-forward left flank. Groom is back on his feet. See how they've got a couple of players out there a little sore. Dewhurst is not all that well, and young Groom decidedly unhealthy. At the throw-in, bodies go in again. Forced out towards the half-forward line. Popplestone couldn't get the run of the ball. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that went out on the full. No, the umpire didn't rule that way, and he's going to pitch it back in at centre wing once more.
McCarthy opposed to Randall Bone, 2 of the promising young men. We'll see a couple of very promising men later, Michael Redden and Mark Micken. Perhaps these 2 young men here today will take their place in years to come. Neiman from behind. Groom, good courage, took front position, particularly after taking that solid knock earlier. Handball came out from Cox. He got it away to Simon Tamke. His kick is low. Lukosius had the ball stolen. Oh, great play by Kimmy Costa. Bounces once, gets the handball across to Dewhurst. He seems to have recovered. Chip short. The mark is taken there by Mitten. He goes to play on, taken to ground. Oh, bad play, holding the ball. And it's an Eagle free kick deep in defence.
Well, it was magnificent work there by South Adelaide, but unfortunately he wasn't told that he was out. What a magnificent mark.
Forbes it was a great mark, but grand finals he didn't wait for the accolade. He played on and it gave Clengens the chance right in the forward pocket. Now he'll be kicking from 30 metres out, but the angle will be acute. Oh, Randall Bone at centre-half forward is unattended and unsighted by Clengens. Looks like he's going to have a reverse check. No, he straightens the ball up and pops it in. But a point is the result, and he just took that kick a little quickly, Rick.
Yes, he certainly did. And when you're having a look here, going down, magnificent mark over the top. That's what we come to see. And look at him. He's on the go, and a beautiful kick down to Clengens. There he is. Goes over it. Loves to take a mark, and a real character of the game.
Ettridge puts it back into play. South coming through. Mills gets it over to Dewhurst, or smothered off the boot. Well played there by Colby. The ball coming back out now to foot. Goes in short. Centre wing on the other side, and Pesh has got the football. The Eagles go into attack. Up towards looking for Hanneman. Oh, almost a mark. The umpire might have paid that one. He's going to get it back. He's crashed the pack. He puts it up short now. Here's a chance for Zilla. He's going to have to work hard. White through. Bullis by himself. They've got two of them. He can't find the handle. He's close to the line, and now he's lost it, and that is a throw. Well, the umpire said play on, but no, he has actually called he did say a throw. I thought by his gesture he was saying play on, but it was actually a throw he was indicating. And of course the Eagles, by playing on, have got themselves a 50-metre penalty. White will go in short to the South Adelaide player and Richard Harrison. He's alone on the half-back line. He can have a look. He can size up his options. He's through centre wing without any pressure. Now he goes in towards the half-forward line. Midden in front, couldn't bring it down. He's got a chance now. He's got one to beat. Back to Dewhurst. Dewhurst on the left leg is smothered, and Big Chapman gets it. Oh, the handball's a shocker. Going through strongly again was Mitten, up towards full forward. Getting back on the ball, but not anywhere near having a chance to get it out was Ettridge, and the ball goes through for a point.
Well, South Adelaide really looked the goods here. I know it's only 9 minutes into the second quarter. The Eagles seem to have, really run their race. They've really put some pressure on in that first quarter, and they're going to have to really perform, David, to come back and it will at least be a couple of goals closer at half-time.
Quite right. There's a free kick there, an infringement against South Adelaide for deliberately thumping the ball out. And grand final day live. What great news that is for South Australia. And the SANFL Commission decided this morning they would allow a live telecast. So we will be with you live until 6 o'clock tonight. Sitting at home watching, but remember, of course, there are still seats available and ticket sales at the door at Football Park, and nothing really like seeing the grand final in the flesh if you can. Chapman it was who was taken to ground. Now Foot tried to get in. The ball was shoveled out, cleverly done. Popplestone bends it around the corner. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. It's Glenn Freeborn. That's a goal.
Yes, that's the first goal for the second quarter. 10 minutes into the second quarter. The Eagles, after a very hustle-bustle first quarter where South Adelaide jumped out with a 9-goal first quarter, it's taken a lot of sting out of the game. But good work there by Popplestone, and he in turn shot the ball over to Glenn Freeborn. And there's a couple of people in the crowd enjoying the day, and what a magnificent grand final, both the reserves and the league.
First goal for the quarter. It took 11 minutes. It closes the gap 9-4 to 5-1. South Adelaide lead. Here's a chance for Mitten to try to crash the pack. He gets the ball out towards Mills. Taken away by Popplestone. High towards centre wing. Getting underneath it is Costa. Tried to take the mark, but the umpire's going to pay him a free kick. They allow him to play to advantage. Damien Cox puts it in long up towards Keem, out in front. Ettridge over the top. The ball forced forward by Mitten. Can't get it clear. And finally, here's a chance now for them to clear through the running player in Troy Searle. Searle through the half-back line. Looking for a player who's going to give him some movement. It's not all that good. Zilla finally provides it. Over to Hannum. Hannum will give it back in the double play. No Peshett is going through the half-forward line. Got one to beat. 40 metres out. Shoots for goal, but he's going to be offline. A magnificent charge from the half-back flank then by Pesh when he put himself in a position to get the ball at least 3 times, but finally was just offline for the point.
Beautiful work there by young Petch. Came from the half-back line, David, and ran right through and should have really finished that play off.
Well, he had the opportunity to, Rick, but by gee, he made some ground, 120-odd metres from deep in defence to have a shot for goal. And his desperation was fantastic. Lukosius it is, outer wing with the mark, drives long to centre half forward. Neiman will get the sit on this one from behind. No doubt he set himself, the big fella. Gee, he looks good. He's lost a lot of that puppy fat he had a couple of years ago, and he's really now, at 19 years of age, setting himself for a great league career.
Well, David, you couldn't get a better mark than that. 50 metres out, beautiful mark, and he's been kicking a lot, and he's going for his 4th.
Yes, you're quite right. He has 3. He was instrumental in the Eagles staying in touch in the first term. This kick's going to go right to the wire. It's home. That's his foot. Oh, no, it's a point. Well, the umpire seemed to have a good look at that, but then indicated it was a point. So, tricked me. The Eagles 5 goals 2, 3 in fact. South Adelaide 9 goals 4.
Oh, a poor kick out close to the line. Just recovered there by Cox. Not Cox. That in actual fact was Harrison on the half-back line. Pesh gets it out now. Lukosius, well played. McCarthy it was. Gives it away to Zilla. Short foot. Has to half volley it. Needs support from there. He's collared. Gives the handball away. It wasn't a good one. He's going to get it back. Still nowhere to go. Baker comes down to claim him. Half forward line. Going through strongly and getting out Knight Chapman. Here's a chance. Hannum, but his shot is high wide and not at all handsome. It's out on the full, and the penalty free kick will go towards South. Probably taken by Ian White, or maybe the fullback in Clifton. It's going to be Ian White to bring the ball back.
Yes, well, very, very important part of this second quarter, the 13-minute mark. South Adelaide are holding sway. They've only allowed the Eagles just the 1 straight goal in this second quarter. They seem to be putting the pressure on and holding them. The Eagles have got to get a bit of a hurry on here and score a couple of goals before that half-time break.
The margin at quarter time was 31 points in favour of the Panthers. It's now down to 25, and there's a great mark, McCarthy. We mentioned earlier one of the junior ruckmen on display today. He drives the ball in long. Neiman sets himself, couldn't complete the mark. Bullis desperately done. The big fella's trying hard today. Ball goes astray. Now finally the handball comes out. Clifton to Tamke. And Baker back on the field, replacing Randall Bone, has the mark at half-back. He started particularly well, big David Baker, the former Port Adelaide big man. Didn't find much opportunity with the Magpies and has ended up with the Panthers. Over the back of the pack, Bobblestone, half pace, evades the tackles. Did that too easily. Now drives long. Underneath that, the target was Neiman. Bumped forward on that occasion by Freeborn. White to ground. He did that very well. Off to Cox. Cox has played well for the Panthers. He's upended. No free downfield. And there's a good mark taken by Lukosius. So the Eagle big men are dominating, but the South Adelaide small men are really doing the damage. Azilla goes towards Bullis. Cleverly done on that occasion. King taken to ground. Deep in defence. The running player there is Kimmy Costa. He gets off the handball now. Dewhurst bounding through centre field. Gee, they've got boundless opportunities. Towards half forward. Clengen's the target. That's another great mark. He plays on quickly. 8 last week. Lines up today. Goes to the square. It's Keane. Well, they moved that ball particularly quickly from defence to attack, and now Keane will have a shot for goal.
Well, that's what football's all about, and especially grand final football. And the umpire here, well, what the hell happened then? Because number 39 is sort of, what did he give it away? Because actually I thought Keane pushed him in the back, and all of a sudden he's got the shot for goal. But very good work there by Clengens to play on quickly.
Keane from point-blank range kicks his 3rd for the morning.
Look at that Dewhurst. He's a magnificent disposal of the play. He does very good disposal. Look at Clengens. Beautiful one take of the football. He plays on immediately. Could have easily shot for goal. And I suppose no one will ever know whether he shot for goal, Ian, or whether he saw Keane in the corner of his eye. I suppose as Keane found the ball and kicked the goal, that's the way that Clengens was going.
South Adelaide by 31 points, 5-3 to 10-4 in the reserves grand final, live on Channel 9. Baker will come from the right, and from the left will be Chapman. McCarthy it is, at the bounce. A good bounce by the umpire. McCarthy gets the tap away, finds a teammate Chapman there, but his kick is not a good one. Well taken in defence by Richard Harrison. Cleverly around the man on the mark. Out wide now is Clengens. Gee, he's grabbed 3 marks, 1 grab, as Rick told you, and it's been good stuff from that player. Stone on the half-back line, gets collared. Zilla back inland. Here's a chance for them now to attack through the centre line with a long kick from the other Zilla up towards the half-forward line, and White over the top, and he's going to get a free kick, and that'll be on the half-back line. 10-4 to 5-3. Still those ideal conditions. Unfortunately, the wind hasn't got up a great deal. It's his 5th kick, Ian White. And as he decides to bounce off, towards centre wing, puts out the pass. Forbes couldn't handle it, getting back Lukosius. Needs support from there. McCarthy it was. Well played there. McEnany gets it back now to Sean Hannum. The running player was Zillow. Put him under pressure. The umpire saw the throw. He threw it up in the air, then knocked it away, and that was bad play by the Eagles. And the free kick will go on 50 metres as well. Will go to Richard Harrison. That brings him to the attacking corner of the big square.
Yes, well, Hannum threw the ball away, and I don't think the umpire had any question in his mind that it was a throw. And then, of course, when he didn't get back on the full. And the umpires, I believe, doing a fantastic job. They're playing the front man, and they're giving the freeze. If the 50 metre, if they're going to bring that in at the start of the season, they've got to go on with it in the grand final, and that took a little bit of stomach from the umpire.
Comment, Rick Davies. Eighth kick to Richard Harrison. He's 40 metres out into this breeze. It'll be a test of how far that, or how strong the breeze is. Or if you can see the breeze take the football away in towards the pocket. And that's a big mark in the pocket taken there by Keane. Now Keane can't try a check side from there. He's already booted 3 because you can't spin the ball back into the breeze, or it's extremely difficult to do. Rick Davies good. He's going to kick with his left leg, and he's kicked it right across the face of goal. In fact, he's actually hit the post. That's out on the full, and Rick, you would have got it back into that breeze.
Well, what a kick.
You are
unbelievable.
That
was no, but I'm saying that the choice that he did then, he had 3 kicks, and he kicked the left foot. Well, whatever you call that sort of a kick.
From former coach Rick Davies, thanks for that, Rick. A man who does know how to kick goals. Always gets easier from the grandstand. We need to recognise that. The Eagles now from defence. Drive towards half-back. Baker sets himself underneath that one. Held out 2 Eagles opponents. Costa now bends it back around the corner. Oh, Clengens, nobody within 20 metres of him. Now Clengens is marked inside 50. He looks to play on. He centres the ball towards the point of the square. Players set themselves. There's a great mark deep in defence. Robert Lukosius for the Eagles. He's playing pretty well, the big man. Zilla. This is Stephen type. Dispatches the ball long. Rowan McGrath will need to get the kick away quickly. Gee, took his time. The Eagles are in trouble right at the moment. Now Jason Zilla feeds off the handball. Hannum, they need a goal, the Eagles. Can he drill it? Drives towards goal. It's offline. 5 goals for, 34 the Eagles. South Adelaide 10 goals for, 64. The margin's exactly 30 points, and the Eagles are in trouble.
Well, grand finals are very, very funny. I said in the first quarter that most sides that I've been playing over the 20 years that can kick 9 to 10 goals in that first quarter don't often get beaten. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether that result continues today. But the South Adelaide have continued on, I believe, in this first quarter, and they're looking the better side.
Bullis in front. Here's a chance. Popplestone need help from there. No handball. Hooks around the corner. Close. Goal. Brilliantly done.
Well, they're doing it hard, the poor old Eagles. Good goal by Popplestone, but it was hard work. Not the one take. Bullis should have taken that, and Popplestone should have picked that up even more cleanly than he did. He made hard work of it, but he's got a touch of class about him, Robbie Popplestone. He's had a lot of injury problems this year. When he's right, he possibly would be in their main side. He's got a bit of a knee injury, but when he took hold of that football, it just showed a bit of class what he has.
Popplestone brings the Eagles a goal closer. He's missed 12 weeks this year with a knee injury, and it really has hurt the Eagles and his form and fitness, but that was a great goal, indicative of his quality. Oh, Harrison played on. White from defence has played a great role in the back pocket, but that kick out of bounds on the full wasn't his best. And the free kick will go to Nick Pesh. Young Teal Cup, 17 years of age, 14 reserves game under his belt for 11 goals. Kick number 6, drives long. Ball goes to ground. Foot playing well also, picking up the crumbs. Oh, cleverly done Mills. Oh, not so cleverly perhaps. He put his teammate right under the hammer, and it's a free kick going the way of the Eagles.
Well, he had 2 choices then, didn't he? He could have gone to number 35 on your screen there, to Chris Groom, who's been playing at centre half back. And he gave it to him right on the spout, and of course the Eagles player there was sweating off on him, and he had no choice.
It was Stephen Zilla, the younger brother of Jason, kick number 5, and that's exactly what the Eagles needed, another goal.
Very good work there by the Eagles. I said a couple of minutes ago it might have been out of the competition, but they fought their way back with 3 late goals. 22nd minute mark of the second quarter. fighting their way back. They're only 3 goals behind, but all of a sudden, South Adelaide, the pressure comes back on them. They've been very, very good early, and now the Eagles are making a real game of it.
The Eagles make their bid in the reserves grand final, 10-4 to 7-4. Centre line infringement, or centre square infringement. Randall Bone comes out with a football, kicks long up towards the half-forward line. Getting back on it is McGrath. The big fellow lumbers towards it. Clengen's right there with him. Getting back in defence now is Ettridge. He throws the ball out. Clengen's with a chance. Still working for the football. He'll need support. Gets it out wide. Dewhurst close to the line. Won't keep it in play from there. Although, yes, he tried hard, but the umpire was right on the ball and said no, terribly sorry. Grand final day on NWS 9, live from Football Park, 11 a.m. through 6 p.m. Should be a great afternoon. Of course, West and North coming up. They go into attack, in through Mitten, up towards the half-forward line. Ettridge is there. Here's a chance for Mills if he can get the run of the football. Great tackle there put on Searle as they come through. Popplestone looking for the free kick. Now it's a line ball. Bone gets it back to Mills. Out wider still here now, Harrison. South into attack. The handball's not all that good. Mitten gives it back to Harrison. Caught on the left leg, shoots for goal. That is brilliantly done. South boots their 11th goal, 11-4. Kick number 9, goal 1, and they've gone to a 4-goal break.
Well, that certainly showed a touch of class there by number 19. Very good work, and you can see on your screen he went over the top, followed it up. Beautiful hand pass, got him on his left foot, and he split the centre. What a magnificent bit of play there by South Adelaide. Look at the young fella up with the left hand, number 1. Beautiful goal there by South Adelaide, and they shoot away again. The Eagles, very hard-fought game here at Football Park on 1991 grand final day.
Margin back to 24 points as Harrison boots his second. He's also been a good player. In fact, I don't think the Panthers have had a passenger today. Zilla, that's Jason, goes to ground. Hannum over the top for the Eagles. Pick up the South Adelaide player, but we're almost into time on of the second quarter.
David, when you look at it, that was magnificent play then by the South Adelaide player. He went in and tackled, and there he is, all keyed up for today's grand final. Who'd he be barracking for today? I suppose it'd be the Eagles.
Super Sid's turned his allegiances, Rick, to the Eagles. He's not quite given away the red legs, but he really is following Neil Baum's Eagles. Foot towards the half-forward flank. Ball out of play, and you can see there how perfect the conditions are for football. Still a few tickets left for this grand final this afternoon. North Adelaide relentless towards the flag after last year's great disappointment where they kicked 1-8. West Adelaide have the emotion of the day, which will hold sway. Contest, physical. Harrison, who was up forward before, ball goes to ground. Martin Clifton at the bottom of that pack has given away a free kick, it would appear. I don't know what happened there. He seemed to dive on the ball, and the umpires indicated he didn't get it out in time, so young Nick Pesh will have an opportunity to shoot for goal. In fact, that's Glenn Freeborn. Young 18-year-old up from the under-17s and 19s. Kick number 3, already has 1 goal, and from 30 metres the kick shouldn't be too difficult.
Yes, well, he needs to kick this because the Eagles, 4 goals down. Very good prospect, this young bloke.
Freeborn just swings it back nicely, and that's a goal.
Beautiful play there, the young bloke. Isn't it amazing? There's such a lot of young talent playing now. The Crows have gone into the competition, and it's an enormous opportunity for these young lads to come in. And there's another one, number 58 in your screen. The umpire there had no hesitation. He gave it Marty Clifton, pulling the ball in underneath him, so he gave the decision. And the young bloke, look at that. Beautiful movement, top of the right-hand post, just a little bit of a swing in, and that makes the Eagles only 3 down.
Live from Football Park on NWS 9, 11-4 to 8-4. Almost half-time in the reserves grand final. Ian Cox under pressure, going through Harrison. Hasn't got the football, well farmed out. Here's a chance now. Harrison gets it out. A long kick by Zilla going in towards Bullis, getting back on it. Got his hand to it, but couldn't quite get the football in. And that's another point to the Eagles. Takes them on now to 8-5. South Adelaide is 11-4. And maybe that is just a kicking end, although both sides scoring freely both ends.
Only 1 point scored in the first quarter, 8 points since. Oh, Well done, Lukosius. That's encouraging. Drives long. The target's Bullis. He's got the ball. No, he hasn't. Ball goes to ground. Ian White it was who handballs towards the boundary line. He's upended, and now we'll have a throw in.
I suppose that's a little bit of a criticism, young Bullis. He does get the front spot. He does get his hands to the ball first. And I've seen him 4 or 5 times, David. I think that he should have taken the ball, and that's something that he could work on, and possibly the reason he's not in the league side.
Might well be right, Rick, but gee, when he's on a lead, he's a much better player. This occasion, he set it up very, very well. You can put that down to Bullis as Hannum into the open goal. Kicks his first. The Eagles, 9 goals 5. South Adelaide, 11 goals 4. Grand final day, 1991.
Yes, well, I suppose I spoke too soon there, because the movement that Bullis had, the quick reflexes of the man, look at that, going in over. He smothered, actually, the South Adelaide player over the top. Beautiful movement there, and 34 for the Eagles in Sean Hannum runs in for an easy goal. Well, the Eagles have kicked back a little bit here. I think Brucey Winter would be pretty happy to go in with only coming from behind by about 1 or 2 goals.
Yes, Rick, they've kicked 5 goals to 2 in this quarter. It's got them right back into the grand final. Ball goes out towards Silla now. He can't quite get it away. Cox for Panthers gets back up towards the half-forward line. Loose ball coming across to meet it now will be Searle. Did it well through the half-back line, and the Eagles come away. He kicks long. Gee, that is a ground-covering kick. Up towards the half-forward line. Coming to meet it is White. All the Panther players out there. Costa will get it across the bone. The Panthers with a chance just prior to the siren. Out in the lead is Keane. Keane gets rid of his opposition, or does he? Through the half-forward line he goes. Puts it in towards full forward. Getting back on it. Oh, I think he thought he'd missed it. He went for the half volley, missed the football. Gee, it would have been embarrassing, and Ettridge came across, but he got a hand to it. It's 1 point only. That takes the Eagles on now to 9-6. South is 11-4.
Margin 2 goals as we approach 29.5 minutes into the second term. And from half-back, Troy Searle kicks the ball long towards half-forward. Neiman the target. Groom's done a good job on him this turn. Well, Popplestone, I thought, marked that, but he played on quickly. The ball goes to ground. Groom again. The player that missed that was Glenn Freeborn. Finally, the Panthers out of defence, or they could be in trouble. Hannum taken the ground. Freeborn back. Neiman dispatches the handball. No man's land. Mills forward. Well done, South Adelaide defence. They did that superbly. Finally, it finishes up with Dewhurst. He got the ball from 27, which was Turner. Now going forward, Mitten towards full forward. Ettridge for the Eagles. Oh, he juggled that, but the umpire has paid the mark.
Close to half-time. Ettridge comes out wide. It's well put. Going through the half-back line, it's McEnany. Kicks towards centre wing. No, it's McGrath to foot now. To lead into the pocket of Popplestone, and he's out of play, and the throw-in will take place.
Well, the pace hasn't come off at all, Ian, has it? And the boundary umpires hit the hit the Eagles runner there. He shot out of the box. The boundary umpire came around and hit him.
Siren time, and at half-time, it's South Adelaide by 12 points.
Well, what a magnificent half of football in this Reserves Grand Final 1991. Pretty even at half-time, no question. There's a couple of goals in it. All South Adelaide in the first quarter kicking 9. The Eagles coming right back into the game in the second quarter. It all sets it up for a magnificent last half.
Quite right, Rick. So at half-time in the Reserves Grand Final of 1991, the Eagles 9 goals 5, 59. Trail South Adelaide 11 goals 5, 71. And we'll be back with a preview of the League Grand Final where North Adelaide take on West Adelaide after the break.
Welcome back to Football Park. Conditions magnificent here, Jumbo, and talking about the big grand final, North Adelaide playing West Adelaide. North have had the will and the bloods in their last 3 encounters.
Yes, they certainly have, but I think West Adelaide are playing better, aren't they? You've been mentioning it all week about what's been happening. Yep. Round 3, 74 points. Well, they were on the bottom and absolutely had no chance. Middle of the year, 43 points. They were improving by then, and of course at the end of the minor round, of course, round 21, only by 21. So it really is getting a little bit less each time.
Yeah, but Jumbo, keep keep in mind we really haven't beaten North Adelaide since 1985.
Well, South Adelaide were the same this year, weren't they? They hadn't beaten North Adelaide for a long, long time. And really, when you're looking at it, today is very, very even.
Well, let's hope it is. OK, let's go to the boundary now and welcome Mr. 1 to 10 Graham Campbell to the program. Graham, looking at the North Adelaide lineup, first of all, you've tipped the Roosters. It's a pretty awesome side.
First of all, Ken, it's great to be down the boundary again. I can't remember the last time I was here. So long ago, but I'm down in the middle of the action, of course, and for the information of the people watching, the wind is favouring the golf course then, which is to the right of your screen, and I would say, the way I assess it, it's a 6-shot wind, Ken. In other words, the side that has that breeze has an advantage of 6 shots for goal. Now, whether they're straight kicks or not depends how much advantage they have got.
Graham, there's been all sorts of rumours going about that the Redden may not play, but he has been picked, of course, and his duel with Micken today should be a beauty.
Well, no question, Ken. That's the key to the game, I think. Michael Redden is, I reckon, the #1 ruckman in this state. And I'm not putting Mark Micken down, but Redden is a master at finding players with the palming of the ball. And Darryl Hart and certainly Stephen Sims have a great cooperation with him. They know where to go. And that's one of the keys to North Adelaide's success this year, Ken, the way that they get the ball out of the centre bounce.
Graham, what about the forward line? Looking at the full forward line, you've got to kick, I would say today, around the 15 to 20 goals to win the flag. Burton, Parsons and Hart, they've always had a full forward at North Adelaide, and Burton's always been in that forward pocket, but he's at full forward today.
Well, Rick, I know he's named as full forward, but to me, he's the nominal forward pocket player, and Parsons will be the key forward. No question about that. OK, he may line up in the pocket, but he'll drift across and be the key to their final line of attack, with Burton getting crumbing the ball, as Rocky Roberts would say, and certainly Sims and Hart are no slouches either for picking up the falling ball. They've got I think anyhow, the good type of attack where there's one bloke in both lines to take the marks. That's Michael Parsons and Peter Bennett, and the people around them are very adept at picking up the falling ball. And yes, you will need 16 to 17 goals to win this game today, and I see North being able to create that sort of scoring opportunity.
Well, Graham, looking at the West Adelaide lineup, gee whiz, they've played super football. Their defence has been magnificent. McKinnon, Wyndon, Blythe, and also Goss and Linder and Schumann back there. And they've also got forwards that can kick goals in Modra and also Patterson and Fitzsimmons.
What about Mellor?
Yeah, oh, well, Mellor, yeah, good point.
Greg Mellor's been the, I think, sensation of the final series, Ken.
Yes.
Not discounting Modra, but Mellor's found form in every game so far, where it would be argued Tony Modra had a flat day last week, where Greg Mellor still came to the fore and kicked 5 goals. And he has been the sensation, really, in this run, you might call it, this role that West Adelaide are on at the moment. And if he gets hold of the ball today, he can back it in. He knows how to kick a goal. And West Adelaide have got a strong attack, as you said, Ken, a very evasive, if you like, back line that know how to get the ball into the attacking area very quickly. It'll be a tight game.
Thanks, Graham. That's Graham Campbell, Mr. 1 and 10 on the boundary, and it will be a top game, Jumbo.
It certainly will. North, 1 to 10.
Oh, there you straight from the expert, Rick Davies, going for North Adelaide. Back with more footy shortly. Stay with us, folks.
Thanks for that, Daisy. So let's set up the second half of this reserves grand final 1991. South Adelaide take on the Eagles, and if you've just joined us at half-time, South Adelaide 11 goals 5, 71, lead the Eagles 9 goals 5, 59. But I can tell you this much, the Eagles are coming back. They trailed by 31 points at quarter time and went into the long break only 12 points down. But South Adelaide will be kicking to the right of your screen with the aid of a 6-shot breeze, as Graham Campbell would call it. The Eagles into the breeze, and I believe whoever wins this quarter will win the game. And Bullis opens up with a pass from foot, and the big fella's marked right when they need him. Rick, you were a little bit critical of the big fella before half-time, but he certainly, if he kicks this goal, will really make amends.
Well, there's just a little bit of inexperience. He's taken the mark and he goes across right in front of the umpire and pushes the South Adelaide player. Now, I would have thought that the first thing he would have done is just taken the ball in day and gone back and did exactly what he's just done.
Yes, well, he's marked very well. I think he still lacks that little bit of experience. That's his second goal. But the boy on him lacks the experience. That's twice he's been caught out of position. The first time was more noticeable than that one. And, of course, Bullis boots his second. That's an enormous start for the Eagles in their second, or in the second half of the game. Only one goal the difference.
Well, straight after half-time, but as you said, Ian, a magnificent start to the Eagles. They're only down by the 1 goal and shot out of the gun straight after this half-time break. Bruce Winter would have said a few words, and shaping up to be a great game.
As Graham Campbell told you at half-time, the breeze is starting to freshen. It's favouring the right of your screen now, so time will tell as the Eagles make their bid. South a chance to go into attack now. Up towards the half-forward line by Mitten, coming out to meet it. Oyech has left the football behind. Getting back to help him there and throwing the ball away eventually was Colby, but the ball is out of play in the right full forward pocket. South got off to a great start. They led 9-4 to 4 goals at half-time. At quarter-time, at one stage, they had 12 goals on the board without missing. It was brilliantly done, and of course it's 9-4 to 4 goals at quarter time and 11-5 to 9-5 at half time. Going through strongly was Ettridge. Oh, Mitten, he seems to be tripped. The umpire's going to give him a free kick. Timmy Pfeiffer right on the scene. And one thing about Pfeiffer and Williams, they're not frightened to award the free kicks in front of goals if they feel they're warranted. Kick number 8 coming up for Mitten. Already booted a goal. He played extremely well as a rover, and this is pretty important to South because Torrens have come back, and the Eagles will make that, have come back, and that's nicely judged, nicely weighted kick, and he boots his second, the one the Panthers need.
Very good movement there by South Adelaide. It's great to see youngsters, or even a few veteran players, kicking the ball with such confidence. Most of the times that I've watched the reserves, they always make a lot of mistakes, whether it be handball mistakes, tackling mistakes, or kicking mistakes. But today, I've been very, very impressed with the way that both sides have gone in hard at the football. They've got their nose over the ball, they've handballed it to the body, and they have kicked truly.
So it's the Panthers again by 12 points. The Eagles opened up with an early goal, but South Adelaide have responded. Foster went in hard, but finally the ball was ricocheted out to King. He dispatches the handball on Neiman. Good hands off. It goes to Chapman. Well shepherded inside 50. Lines up the goals. Bullis out on the lead. Gathers it. No, he doesn't gather it in. Thought he was going to get there, the big fellow, but the kick was just a little long for him. He certainly does provide a target for running players in the Eagles side. Good crowd starting to build. Remember, of course, there still are tickets for sale at the Oval, and like all grand finals, they're a memorable event. Many people haven't missed one for a number of years, and still tickets on sale here today. Ball back into play. Neiman it was who got the ball to ground. Finally, it was Zilla who snapped towards goal. Oh, this is a good opportunity, but it's just offline and through for a behind.
Well, David, coming into the ground today, I would say that there's possibly 10 or 15,000 people out in the car park. A magnificent day for a barbecue. They've come along, they've put their car there, they've got the seats out, and I would say that this place here, in another hour or so, would really fill up to almost capacity.
McCarthy had the ball, got it out towards Popplestone. Ian Cox is back in defence. He's got to go for the safety line on the outer side. And South at the moment defending. Torrens have come out, or the Eagles have come out in the second half. Fire and brimstone. 12-5 to 10-6. They looked out of it halfway through that second quarter. In their last 10 minutes of that quarter, they kicked 3 goals and got right back into the game. Baker against McCarthy. In there quickly for South Adelaide was Turner. Kicks the ball back towards centre wing. Clengens at centre wing, or comes in board. Cox, if he plays on, he could be in trouble, yes, but he gets the kick away, but it was a bad one. Stone now for the Eagles. Gets it out short to Zilla. Neiman at half forward, can't find the football. He's got it now. Slips out the handball, half forward, right flank. Zilla puts it in long. This is going to be close, just offline. In fact, I think it's hit the aluminium for 1 point only. And at the moment, Rick, it's the Eagles looking just a little better.
Yes, well, the young Mick Pesh has Teal Cupper, as David Mackay mentioned, that first half, he's been everywhere, and Bruce Winter would have been, I would have thought, pretty savage at half-time, and the Eagles have really come out and shown what they should have shown in that first quarter in this third quarter. They've been in front. I mentioned that South Adelaide were the players are in front, but the Eagles are getting hold of that ball first and showing South Adelaide a clean bill of hills.
Doing that at the moment. It was Clengens to Mitten, Mitten to Keem. They're the dangers. Both Mitten and Keem are prolific goal scorers if they're given an opportunity. Colby was upended by Osborne, goes for the save to the boundary line. Great defensive work. And at the 6-minute mark of the third term, the Eagles 10 goals 7, Trail South 12 goals 5.
David, I just noticed then both umpires that I've noticed in the games gone past have always been 30 or 40 metres, but today they seem to be a little bit closer, and I think they're doing a lot better job.
No arguments with that. Osborne. Searle, Clengens over the top of the ball. He's upended. Play on the call. Searle now out to Colby. Dispatches the kick forward. Oh, well done foot to just get the fist of that ball. Popplestone over the top. Mills, number 44 for South, in pursuit of him. Cleverly done, Popplestone, in the finish. Out it goes. King picks up the crumbs. Drives long. Oh, he's been upended as he dispatched the kick, and there's a free kick downfield. Young man's fine. So the Eagles play the advantage. They played on quickly. Oh, Zilla dropped it. That was Stephen Zilla. Recovers. Gets it off now. Ball goes forward. Bullis 15 metres out. Oh, he's taken the ground. There'll be a 50-metre penalty as well.
The umpire ran in then, David. Well, let's face it, he's only 10 metres away. If he's any good at kicking the ball, he should put this one right through the high diddle fiddle. Well,
he has two, Bullis. He is a dangerous player. He looks very good on a lead. But today he has stayed at home pretty much and has 2 goals. 21 league games behind him. Oh, and he hasn't drawn on that experience. He's missed a few weeks with suspension this year, but gee, that was a bad kick.
Yes, it certainly was, and you can see here a beautiful one-take grab. I was critical in his first half, and if we get to see him kick, no, we're only going to see him mark the ball. A couple of beautiful marks there. And when he went back to kick, he only kicked off the one leg, David. And you can't really kick straight if you're only going to not have a run-up.
South through Harrison, relieved the pressure up to Dewhurst, who took a very heavy knock in that first half. In fact, he looked like he might have to go off with a shoulder injury. Mills through, left the football behind. McEnany working the ball well at centre wing. Great tackle put on him out there by Mitten. Winds up with a football. That is brilliantly done. He's got nowhere to go as Lukosius comes to claim that player. And finally the ball is fumbled out of play on South's half-forward left flank. 10-8 to 12-5. The Eagles make their bid. 9 points the difference at the throw-in, outside the 50-metre line. 50 is McCarthy against 28 Forbes. Started extremely well. McCarthy gets the tap away. Down there to McEnany. Coming away, Lukosius. Kicks long towards the half-forward line, setting himself up there. Neiman used his body brilliantly. Slips out the handball, or does he? Doesn't want to. Had the chance to do so, but he's going into kick long. Booted 3 goals in the first quarter. 6th kick going towards the half-forward line. He's got Bullis up there. Clifton right there with him. Loose play there, going through strongly for South Adelaide, and coming away as Harrison. And they'll get out of this through centre half-back, and Harrison, who got the ball now out towards centre wing. Well clear. Turner now looks for the lead. He's going in long. He's got not a lot to kick to. 1 on 3. Clengens over there, but coming in strongly is Stone. Gets the ball back towards the half-back line. Well played there by both teams, and finally South coming to it through Turner. Dewhurst over the top, and just a little bit of fisticuffs behind the play there, and maybe it's a good thing the ball is out of play.
Well, there's no way in a grand final you get too excited because you'd waste too much energy. They're going to need every drain or every little bit of energy that they've got for this last half day.
And they're going to use it all, Rick. I can tell you 30 degrees we're anticipating this afternoon, and it's getting warm out there now. Powell, who's just come onto the field for the Panthers, has his first run at the ball, applies the tackle, couldn't get it through. Finally it was Stone, drops it to the ground. Powell again over the top of it. Geez, a terrier, this kid. Fresh legs show, but umpire Richard Williams will come in and bounce. As Richard Williams will bounce. We've played almost 10 minutes, and looking forward to an interview at 3/4 time. Neville Roberts with Laurie Argent and Michael Abbott, this year's grand final umpires. And very keen to see what they have to say about the way they think the game will develop today. Troy Searle, he's played well. McEnany evaded the tackle very well. Switches the direction of play. To the outer side he goes. Ettridge now streams out after the ball. Keane in pursuit. He did that well. Over the top of the ball. On an occasion was Tamke interfered with. Held when not in possession, said the umpire, and it will be a free kick. So South Adelaide in their scoring zone. The use of the breeze. In fact, in this quarter, South Adelaide have only kicked 1 goal. And may well be wasting this breeze. Bone. He's a normally good kick, Rick. You've seen a fair bit of him.
Yes, he's a big strapping lad, isn't he? Randall Bone, he's come off the bench. Oh, he'd be a rod on the 50-metre line, so that it's going to have to be a very good kick, though, David. He's going to have to put it up in the air and let the wind do the job.
He is capable of doing it, Randall Bone, but remember he's had a knee injury the last couple of weeks, which has inhibited his progress. Right on the line. Is it touched? It's not. It's a goal.
Well, usually Randall Bone is a ruckman. And here's the ball coming out on the other side here, and they're playing on with the play. The goal umpire back there has signalled the goal. I don't know what's going on. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen, because even the umpire is just signalling to the two players, just hold it on, boys, because we've got to go back to the centre, and it was a goal. I don't know what they were thinking about.
I've never seen it happen before. South kicked the goal and some of the players didn't realise, thought the ball had been forced away, and they've been playing their own little game here at centre wing while the umpires were trying to get the ball back to restart the game. Quite humorous for the big crowd building here on grand final day. And what a marvellous day it is. 13-5 to 10-8. South Adelaide lead at the moment. Bone at the centre, going through strongly. There was Costa, couldn't get the ball out. Gee, the players going a little harder now, and umpire Richard Williams will come in to bounce. And hard they should go in. There is no more. After tomorrow, or after tonight, this is it. Make that earlier on this afternoon, about 1:45 in actual fact. This is it. As the ball comes out wide, here's a chance for them to go in through mid. Played extremely well, looking for options, puts it up for Keane, uses his body, comes over the top, and he's got the football, but the umpire's going to pay it to Troy Searle, I would think, as the man in front, and that's the way it ought to go. He'll come out grandstand side, looking out here now for McCarthy, but gee, the big fella's going to have to do more than lumber to get to that one before it beats him out of play, and that's where it all ends. 13-5 to 10-8, 12 minutes into the second half.
Well, I really was expecting South Adelaide to do a little bit better in this quarter, because the Eagles have come out after half-time. They've been in front. They've got first to the ball, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how South Adelaide, as they go towards goal here, finish the playoff.
Well, Mitten took the wrong option. He thought he had Clengens, but the kick was just too long. And that's the difference about being in two minds. He was uncertain as to whether he was going to kick for goal or pass, and in the finish he did neither. 40 is Jason King towards half forward. Really a wasteful kick that. Went to space, but there were no Eagle players in pursuit. Now it's Harrison for the Panthers. He's played pretty well today. Drifts it short underneath that one, Keane, who seems to be out at centre half forward. Trying to get the big man into the game. He has kicked 3, but he's been starved of opportunities. Dewhurst took a heavy knock in the first quarter. Lifts the eyes. There's no leads. Now Keane drifting back underneath that one. That's where the ball goes. Oh, great mark taken. McCarthy deep in defence. That's where good ruckman should be.
Yes, it certainly is. He hasn't done a lot today, though, Big McCarty. He was training a little bit for the Crows, and I thought he might have gone on a little bit better than he has. But his performance today in the next, the next quarter or so is going to be a telling result.
Kim Costa with the handball over the top to Dewhurst. On the left boot, Dewhurst towards full forward. Clengens out, sets himself, couldn't complete the mark. Osborne taken to ground. Play on called the umpire as the ball's pushed by Searle across the line. In fact, that was a touchdown, Rick.
Yes, it certainly was, and this game's slowing down a little bit, but they've been flat chat at it for nearly 3 quarters now. It's about 14 minutes into the third quarter. Usually, Ian Day, this is the quarter that wins the turkey, or you get beaten.
Yes, the breeze could decide this. Cox ducked the chutney, got right into it. Line ball, that one going through strongly. There is Colbury, can't get it out. For South Adelaide, it's Powell, the new player on, couldn't get it out. Well tapped out by Zilla. He gives Pesh a chance. The Eagles out of defence, a long one. Neiman on the outer side with him. Right out there now is South Adelaide's groom as he goes to the line. In fact, he's kept it in rather well. Needs support. Gee, it took a long time coming before he got the kick away, and it goes straight back to Pesh. Pesh props the ball back in towards the back pocket, and the umpire's going to pay the man in front. And on this occasion, it is on the outside. It is young Zilla, is it? No, it's Sean Hannum. Hannum kicks in long. Gee, that's a big kick into the breeze. Bullis at the back. Got his hands to it. Couldn't complete it. And the Eagles fumble another point. Hardly a fumble. Off the fingers. 10-9 to 13-5. 15 minutes in.
Fair indication there of the breeze, I think, David. It has dropped considerably, and I think you'll find that it's going to be a test of stamina here in the last quarter.
You might suppose, Rick, that the Eagles should have the advantage. They should be fresher after the week's break. Remember, of course, they beat South Adelaide in the second semi-final by 27 points to advance straight to the grand final. And here's Turner. We haven't seen much of him after a great first quarter. Drives towards centre half forward. Foot underneath that one. Took possession. Now Jason Zilla dispatches it forward. Over the top of that, Jason King gets it out now. Big McCarthy. The runner was Colby, deep from defence. Bullis out in the lead. He looks a lot better when he creates space, the big fella. Evades the tackle well, chips in the pass. He did that sensationally, Bullis, and he set up a goal opportunity here for the Eagles. And there's Jason Zilla now with an opportunity for his first goal.
Well, Big Bullis has really come out after half-time and playing very, very well. He could have easily blazed away, but he streamed away, got around his opponent and set up this goal.
So Zilla, who hasn't goaled yet, into the open goal, 20 metres out, and that's his first.
Yes, well, very good play there by the Eagles. They're starting this third quarter very well. They started it well, they scored a goal, and as I said a couple of seconds ago, the breeze, just a slight flickering breeze. If there was no breeze at all, it would be tremendously hot down here at Football Park. A beautiful day, crowd coming in, about 10 or 15,000 people outside the ground, ready for the grand final, and this is a very even game.
(13-5 to 11-9). McGrath back on the turf. Zilla gets it out now. Pesh, Bullis on the lead. Out in front of that player. He's galloping to meet the ball, and that's brilliantly put. He's got the ball at the 50-metre mark. I doubt he can make the distance from here into the breeze. In the square, he's got Sean Hannum. Neiman's going to give a lead, but he doesn't want that player. He's going for home. Puts it up in the air for grabs. Gee, he's got under that a little bit. Setting himself at the back. Is off the fingers. Hannum! Oh, loose defence by South Adelaide. Hannum couldn't believe his luck as he boots his second from kick number 11. And the Eagles right back in this game at 12-9 to the South's 13-5.
Well, the ball went out wide, and here it is on your screen there. Number 5, Bullis, took a beautiful mark. He had leads all over the place. They came from long and far, but he decided to go straight in. And look at the beautiful work there by the Eagles player over the top. And a lovely goal there by Sean Hannum.
Sean Hannum, after kicking that goal, has come off for a rest. Bruce Winter just gives him a little pat on the shoulder. Questions how he is. Says thanks for that. Brings them back within 2 points. Bruce Winter knows a little bit about finals. Of course, he played in that great grand final victory of Norwood's back in 1984 when they came from 5th to 1st. Distinguished career with Norwood and Sturt. A couple of state games in there, and he's coached at reserves level with distinction. Turner receives the ball from Mills, drives long towards full forward. Keane took front position. The ball goes to ground. Off the pack, the opportunity now for South Adelaide. And it's through for a behind.
Yeah, well, the young fella in your screen there was Osborne. He hasn't had a huge influence on the game, but South Adelaide can sensing it now. As we mentioned, it's a beautiful day for football, and the Eagles have clearly won this quarter.
Dead set right. Good mark, Lukosius. Osborne's 5th kick. Osborne, as Rick said, playing out of the pocket and not been a big influence in the game. Lukosius edges the ball towards the outer side. The lead of Neiman is good, and he's got the ball at centre wing. 13-6 to 12-9. And if South has got the win, they're certainly not doing enough with it. And this could be the quarter, as Rick mentioned earlier. Whatever happens in the third quarter could determine the outcome of the game. And if he's dead right, well, the Eagles are going to get up and win it. Time will tell. 13-6 to 12-9 at the throw-in. Grand final day, live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Neiman, over the top of him came Groom. Line ball that one as they go to the ground and wrestle for it. And umpire Williams will come in and bounce marginally in the attacking favour of the Eagles.
Well, the one comment that I did make, Ian, that South Adelaide kicking 9 goals in one quarter, usually the team that does that kicks away and wins the day. So this is going to have to be a superb performance by the Eagles to get up.
Both sides are in a position where they can win, but the Eagles are going forward again. Foot into the running goal. Can he dispatch the ball? He slipped over it at the inopportune occasion. Bends it back around the corner and through for one behind. So the margin is now back to 2 points. The Eagles 12 goals 10. Trail South Adelaide 13 goals 6.
Usually David, the young David Foote would have finished that play off. There's no question about that. Only he fumbled the ball. He's had a huge amount of injury problems. His career could have been a great one apart from injuries.
I think you're right there, Kim. Rick, he missed early in the season with a groin injury, bad groin injury, and then during the course of the year he missed 12 weeks with a bad shoulder injury. Oh, Chapman cleverly to Neiman. The Eagles are pillaging forward, offline. One behind. The margin now back to 1 point. The Eagles are on the rampage.
Well, if you're a recruiting scout sitting up here looking at this game, and I know this is where the youngsters come from, Neiman would have had to been high on your list next year, and the Eagles, like Neil Barham, would have to be looking at a player of his ability to come right on next year to be a full forward. And of course, Bullis has also proved to be very, very athletic up there. So when you're looking at this, David, what other players, if you were looking for potential?
I think there's a lot of runners out there. Young Andrew Osborne for South Adelaide is a running player of some note, but I think you've picked them out. McCarthy perhaps in ruck for the Eagles. Neiman is only 19 years of age, and the problem that he has is that he's been around for 4 or 5 years. He played his first senior game at 16, and people expect a lot more of him. They think he's a lot older than what he really is.
I'd certainly like to add one to that, and that's Randall Bone. I think he's got a fine future. Anyway, back to the game on the outer side there, and the ball is out of play. 13-6 to 12-10, only 2 points the difference in the reserves grand final. Live from Footy Park on the outside there, the ball to be thrown in at centre wing. Neiman with him there is Randall Bone, the player I'm telling you about. He's only a teenage. Get it out. The ball comes back from Pesh. He's got it back in the double play. The Eagles into attack again. He's well shepherded. Drives long in looking for Bullish. Gee, there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on down there. Coming out with the ball now is Zilla. Needs some help. He's going to concede ground on. He's conceded it too far. Coming back now to his brother. Zilla gets it out wide. Here's another chance for Pesh. Puts it on its way. Bullis at the back of the pack. Got a chance. He's got the football. Loads it back to Foot. Foot short, and he finds, or does he find Chapman? Yeah, Chapman hasn't got it. Can't find the handle. He's got it back now. Hooks around the corner. Errors galore. Going in strongly there was Big McGrath. He can't get it through, and I think the Eagles have blown a chance, or have they? Getting it away now was Groom, and finally the ball has been marked by Chapman, but gee, they had a few chances.
Well, Chapman in between. He had it about a minute ago where he should have taken one clean take, but he didn't. But he's about 50 metres out from goal now, looking for options, but I think he'll have a shot.
It's his sixth kick. He'd probably have to take the left goal post, or might even go straight, but he goes out at that tangent. He's not going to bring it back from there, I can tell you. Bullish is under pressure. The ball at the back of the pack there for South Adelaide, number 55 is Clifton, and the ball goes out of play in the full forward right pocket. Well, it's all the Eagles at the moment, David. South don't look like they're doing too much through their half forward line.
Remember, Ian, they still lead by 2 points, and let's not write them off. They were ahead last week against West Adelaide in the reserves preliminary final by 5 goals. Half-time, they're only 1 point up at three-quarter time. In fact, West Adelaide hit the lead with moments to go, but South Adelaide hung on and won the game. Popplestone bends one back, will be marked right on the square. Ian White, he always shows great courage. Former North Adelaide small man, and he hasn't done a bad job in the back pocket today.
Yes, he certainly has. He's done a treat in the back pocket. He's a little left footer. He's probably not big enough nor quick enough to be a rover sort of note in a league side, coming from North Adelaide. But the umpires played it on here. I thought that was a clear mark.
Well, I think he may have ruled that it didn't go the required distance.
Well, either that or he ruled that he played on.
Possibly. Temper's getting flared as it's started to heat up on the oval. Popplestone's always in the thick of things.
And David, when you're looking at the oval, sitting from up here, without the Crows playing or training, the oval looks absolutely superb, and it's a credit to Douglas Butterfield. He's done a treat again.
Quite right. Opportunity now for Tamke. Hasn't been a bad player either. Mills on the outer side. Picks it up cleanly. Did that pretty well. He was under pressure. The kick is a long one. Troy Searle. He's played well. He's impressed today. On that occasion, Kerry Brain back onto the field. Fresh legs. He's had a rest. Gets it off to Cox. Great player in the first quarter, but it's been a little disappointing since. Now, Troy Searle again. Rowan McGrath feeds it off. The running player is Stephen Moore. A little bit of trouble picking him up. He's just onto the field. Now Pesh. Off it goes to Zilla. This is Jason type right on the 50-metre line.
Yeah, that was beautiful work there by Pesh. He looks a real likely prospect.
Popplestone, the lead. Couldn't complete the mark. Shepherd's well, however. Stephen Zilla kicks the ball forward. The target's Neiman. The big fella's there. Thumps the ball to ground. Mills taken to ground, but he dispatches the ball forward. We're just into time on, and it's 2 points the margin with South in the lead.
Not much in this game at all. 2 points. Crowd building up. What a magnificent day it is for the 1991 grand final. Everyone's excited about the big game this afternoon, but there's still a lot, Ian Day, left in this game.
Never dead until you lie down. Or play on as a call. G. Damien Cox there, not kicking to the danger. Umpire Richard Williams had a good look at it. Didn't take exception to it. Here's a chance now as Osborne kicks long up towards Keane. Can't bring this one down. A chance for them to clear through Lukosius. Joined out there by Moore. He in turn goes back to Searle. The running player out there is Foot as the Eagles power into attack. Shorten out of the wing, and that's well put out there. Pesh hooks around the corner. Zilla. Gee, the Eagles have got some loose men now. Zilla will go in long looking for Bullis. Bullis out in front. Got the football.
Great take there by young Paul Bullis. He's kicked only the one goal. Critical early. He said that he wasn't taking the ball with the one grab. He must have heard me at half-time because in this third quarter, I know we're 26 minutes into this third quarter, he's taken 4 or 5 one-grab marks, and he's been the difference between the two sides.
It's his 8th kick, already booted 2. The Eagles have not been in front since the first score of the afternoon when they kicked the first goal in the first minute. If this is a goal, it puts them in front, but not to be. In fact, it's out on the full. Rick Davies, how about the comment now?
Well, the comment is, and you can see him there shaking his head. I said it before. He's just kicking it off one leg. He's only taking the one step and then kicking. He'd be far better off to go back. I know it's pretty easy, as we all mentioned, sitting up here in the grandstand and telling him what to do, but he's done it the last 2 times, and he's kicked a point and out of bounds.
A very good crowd building up here for this afternoon's clash. Oh, McGrath dropped it. Bone took the opportunity and drove the Panthers forward. McInerney upended. Ball across the line, and we'll have a throw in. 27.5 minutes played. Third term of the reserves 1991 grand final. There's McInerney down with a bit of cramp. An indication of how hot it is out there. McGrath let one rip in the pack. Unsided by the umpire. Oh, Mitten got through there and dispatched the handball. No, he did not in time, said the umpire, and that's a free kick going the way of Zilla. This is Jason, the older brother of Stephen. Neiman set himself. Broom. Been a solid battle between those two today. Now Powell for the Panthers. Oh, it's a long kick forward. Moore with fresh legs. Did well. Has a bounce. Now 2. He can run right upfield if he wants to. There's 3, 4. He'll draw the man. That's what he's trying to do. He does so successfully. Well done. Out of defence go the Eagles. Chapman to half forward. They've gone wide, but Bullis was the target right up the centre. He had to deviate and couldn't get there. And in the finish, the ball ends up across the line again.
A number of times that the Eagles have gone out to the outer side, Ian, I would have thought that they could have been a little bit closer because they're getting themselves 40 or 50 metres away.
3/4 time siren. At the moment, it's South by 2 points in a cliffhanger at Footy Park.
Yes, Ian, South Adelaide 13 goals, 6-84. Lead the Eagles 12 goals, 10-82. And once more, we're down with Neville Roberts for a roving interview.
And with me in the umpires' room, 2 very important men for the day, the umpires, Laurie Argent and Michael Abbott. And for you, Laurie, it's your 6th grand final. It must be an honour.
Yeah, they don't get any worse. They always have the same sort of atmosphere and the same sort of build-up. And yeah, grand final is what you aim for all year, and I'm pretty happy to be here this time of year.
And Michael, for you, it's a bit of a comeback from last year. You had somewhat of a down at mid-season, but it's a great comeback to get a grand final on it.
Yeah, last year the wheels came off, so to speak, and I was umpiring the bush at the end of the season, so I'm happy to be back.
And Laurie, what would be the most memorable game for you? I mean, I can remember you standing between Tim Evans and Craig Baum back in '84. That was a pretty tough game. Was it the toughest you umpired?
Yeah, you've hit on it, Neville. That was probably the best game I've ever had to umpire, that one, because it was such a big build-up. It was Port and Norwood, that's traditional rivals, and a grand final, sell-out crowd, and have a bit of a dust-up before the game started, just set the whole scene for a pretty exciting day. And it did. It was just 4 quarters of top footy, fast, furious, and excellent standard of game, yeah.
And Michael, I guess with the two sides playing, West Adelaide, they're young, enthusiastic, they'll hit pretty hard. Are you expecting a tough physical opening?
Yeah, I think they'll give 100%. Westies got nothing to lose. They've come a long way, and they're really going to put it in, I think.
And your preparation for this game, Laurie, it's whilst it might be a tough opening, is there anything in particular you've done this week that might be different than other weeks when you prepared for grand finals?
No, I think all the apprehension has been whether you're going to get the game, and the nervousness takes part during after the last game you do, waiting to see if you're going to get appointed. Yep. And once that's out of the road, then now that we've been there a few times, you sort of know what's got to happen, and you just settle down and be as calm as you possibly can, put in a good week's training, and just make sure you get plenty of sleep and prepare yourself well so you're in a good frame of mind for the game. Yep.
Well, fantastic. The grand final was in good hands with the experience of yours, Laurie, and I guess, Michael, for you, umpiring along a man who's done 6 before, and at 3 yourself was no mean achievement, will stand you both in good stead. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Three-quarter time in the reserves grand final for 1991 with the Panthers just in front by 2 points, 13-6-84. It should be a fantastic last quarter. The Eagles 12-10-82.
Well, it certainly was the Eagles quarter. Neiman 3, Freeborn 2, Bullis 2. Great quarter by Bullis. Hannon 2, Keane 3, Harrison 2, and Mitten and Kennett set up there. Wang will find a way, and I think you'll find South Adelaide are going to have to find a way in this last quarter.
You're right there, Jumbo, but the atmosphere, isn't it magnificent? It's unique. There's something special about a grand final. Listen, the atmosphere, there's a buzz here, the weather's warm, and gee, it was a great expectation here today.
Well, a great expectation, and the sort of the build-up's been all year, hasn't it? The papers, your show, everything's been a great build-up. The people outside the ground, they're all sort of shouting and cheering. Neville Roberts has been walking around, talking to everybody. It really sets the scene.
Yes, it promises to be a magnificent grand final. We take you back for the last quarter of the reserves. Your commentator, David Mackay.
Thank you, Ken and Rick. South Adelaide 13 goals, 6-84, lead the Eagles 12 goals, 10-82. But remember that the Eagles have use of what breeze there is at Football Park for this final term. And perhaps at this stage of the game, the Eagles might just be favoured to win by a nose. Pesh, who's played well, drives towards half forward. Bullis out on the lead. He's attacked the ball well in the second half. Ziller over the top, couldn't complete the take. He's well shepherded, however. Breaks the tackle, dispatches the handball. Colby, now Bullis. Forward. Oh, good desperate work by Mills, and he shovels the ball across the line. Well, Daisy, I suppose we have to ask you, 27 years of calling grand finals must be a great thrill, and this year the grand final no different to any other.
Ken, the adrenaline still pumps. So, David, I'll make that. I'll have to write your name down, David. I'm sorry about that, but yes, the adrenaline still pumps, and it's just nice to be part of grand final day. And a big crowd building, expected to be a top game. It's all here. Bone, who's got nowhere to go. That was the throw. The umpire couldn't see it. He had probably half a dozen players between him and the big fellow and Bone, and it was a blatant throw. Even the boundary umpire was surprised when it wasn't paid, but he's going to put the ball back into play. 12-10 to 13-6 at the throw-in. Inside the half-forward line, Neiman comes over the top. Well played, Cox. Oh, the kick is not good. It went higher than longer. Having to work hard there for South Adelaide was Brain, coming through strongly now. Oh, King got it out. South Adelaide, Powell left it behind. Oh, the handball went out. Here's a chance. Hannum, goal number 3. No, he's missed. Well, it was beautifully set up there, and I think it was probably Freeborn that sent it up. And Rick, did you see who put out that neat handball?
No, I didn't. I think it was young Freeborn, but isn't it going to be interesting how so close this game? There's only 1 point in it, and if it happens to go for 33 minutes, David, there's a compulsory siren blowing at 1:40, so it's going to be very interesting.
Well, if that happens, Rick, whoever's in front at the time will win. That kick is out of bounds on the... In fact, it wasn't touched. So McCarthy... The Eagles have had most of the play, the latter part of the third term. Oh, Bullis set himself. Popplestone couldn't complete the take. To ground, Harrison. Tamke out in the direction of Cox. He's beaten by the boundary line, and again will have a throw in. Yes, very interesting point that. 1:40, the end of this game must happen. And unfortunately, there will be a winner and a loser.
Well, I can't see the quarter going 33 minutes, David, but you never know. 4 or 5 or 6 goals, and the term goes a bit longer than normal.
Well, perhaps a bad injury or maybe a decent fight. White has played well today. Has just done his job in a workmanlike fashion. Kick number 11 for him. Oh, well done, Forbes. His opening quarter was sensational. Now Dewhurst, who spent a little bit of time during the third term off the field. Clengens pushing the back. And you must say, Ian Day, that Troy Searle's one of the Eagles' best.
No question about that. Gee, he looks like Farlup the way he's dressed up there with his short johns on, and they're an unusual looking colour, but I agree with you, David. He's played extremely well, and South are going to have to lift. The Eagles' second half has been far better than that of South. Here's a chance for them to go into attack short. Well put by Osborne to Forbes, and I agree with your comment. He played extremely well in that first quarter. Forbes from about 45 metres, kicking into a breeze. It's kick number 6, and I suggest to you most of those would have been early. Now South need a goal. He's got underneath that ball. It's not going to make the distance, or is it? off the fingers. It's in defence. It's a mark's going to be paid to McCarthy. They've got some pretty solid customers in ruck. McCarthy, McGrath and Lukosius, or he's not playing in ruck, but he's a centre-half back. He's a big youth, I can tell you. Goes short. There was no score on that one. He puts him across short into the back pocket. And David, you're going to have to help me. Who's that back there? Ettridge it is. Edges the ball out of defence. Long towards the half-back line. Waiting his chance out there is Lukosius, we mentioned, and he's been paid the mark.
His brother Chris, Ian, was a great player for the Warriors a number of years ago, and the family tradition continues now with the new club, the amalgamated club, Colby, former Northern Territorian. Handballs over the top, cleverly done. King now gets wide. Zilla, the runner, is foot. Now he is a player of some quality. He can drive towards goal, and he has. He's goaled. Foot's kicked it. That's his first.
Well, if you're an Eagles supporter, you'd be wanting a player of his experience. I suppose you could nearly say he's a veteran. He's been around a long time. He's played a lot of footy with Torrens, and now to be selected to go down to the new Eagles club. I mentioned in that second quarter that he's had an enormous amount of injury problems. Would have been one of their regular players, but on that occasion the ball came out from centre half forward, and he put through and put the Eagles in front.
The Eagles hit the front in the reserves grand final. They lead by 5 points. As I mentioned earlier, that's the first time they've been in front since the beginning of the game when they kicked the first goal. Going through strongly now, Colby gets it back again in the double play. Lost the handle, gives it away now to Pesh. Pesh goes in off. Zilla can't quite get it. He's going to hook around the corner. It's very close. This could be close. It could be a goal, but over the top came the South Adelaide player in Martin Clifton and just got his fist to the football. And now he has kicked one goal for young Pesh, and I agree with the earlier comment of that's Zilla that kicked that one, and he's played pretty well, but his kicking just let him down slightly.
Yes, a bit unfortunate there from the Eagles because they did everything right, but great smothering by South Adelaide kept the Eagles out.
Well, South Adelaide will need to show something. Cox over the top of the ball has won a free kick, and Cox will go back and take it. It's a long kick, the outer wing. Lukosius underneath that one, couldn't complete the mark. King, now Hannum. They're running in numbers, the Eagles. Oh, what was that? More. Pesh bends it back around underneath this one. Good mark taken deep in defence by Harrison in front of Popplestone, right on the last line of defence. Harrison's done well today, kick number 14. He hasn't been their worst player. Randall Bone also has done pretty well when he's been on the field. I'm surprised, in fact, that with the Eagles' big man strength, that South Adelaide have left their two big men off the field interchanging. There's West Adelaide, Ian, just warming up, look pretty relaxed.
Well, I don't think you could be relaxed with a grand final coming up, and they're only been 6 days since they played their last game, but it's good they've come up so well. But gee, what a crying shame that young Grosser is not playing.
Yes, he battled an 11th hour fitness test to try and get in, and in the end he ruled himself out. Great courage from the captain, but it is a tragedy. Every player wants to play in the grand final.
When I said young Grosser, I suppose everything in life is relative.
Behind play, there's a fight in the goal square, but that settled down. Brain outside 50, 60 metres out, drills it in long. Oh, Keane was held in the square. The umpire didn't see the infringement. Play on the call. Finally, the handball comes out to McInerney. Clengens is fighting solidly for it. Ettridge there. They're working solidly. Now, snap for goal. Martin Clifton, he started at fullback, now down in the forward zone, but that one was a point.
Well, absolutely bad luck there for South Adelaide because they worked the ball very, very hard. Big Bullison, his opponent down there, and he got him a beauty right on the end of the snout. I was watching that. The ball went quickly up to the other end, and South Adelaide, and I think it was Keane there, was absolutely hurled to the ground, and the umpire never saw it. Big Bone comes off. Big Baker comes on perhaps for his last run for the 91 season, and I would say that I suppose that he'd have to look at his career from here on in. Let's hope that South Adelaide can get back into this, but the Eagles are just in front by 5 points.
Forbes has gone to full back on Bullis, and as we've mentioned before, it's the full back has gone to full forward, so Ian Borchardt is ringing the changes as they go into attack through Zilla up towards the half-forward line. Coming across now is the other Zilla on the left leg, tries to hook it back. He didn't have a left foot, and South has got a chance to clear. Out of defence. Long handball over over there from Damien Cox. He gets it back in the double play, lost his footing, but gee, got out of it, or did he? The kick is a very awkward one. Baker's going to have to work hard. Bullis has taken it off him. He's got no one to kick to. The handball away is good. He got it away there to Freeborn, but South intercept through the agency of Brain up towards the half-forward line. They've called a play on. Here's a chance now. Turner puts it up towards goal. Keane looking for it. Can't find it. Getting back on it is McInerney, but the ball beats them all out of play. Well, there's a little bit of fisticuffs behind play there, Rick.
Well, you wouldn't think they'd have too much energy in which to waste, but I suppose this is the be end and end all. 5 points in it. It's been a very good game, fast-paced right from the opening bounce, and South Adelaide really have had a couple of opportunities early in this quarter to kick a couple of goals.
South Adelaide last week against West looked like they were out of it, but came back to win. In fact, it was Clanger Clengens that kicked 3 of their last 4 goals, including the winning goal. And he's looking dangerous up forward, but this game should go right down to the wire. It's been a great contest. Neiman forward, King the runner. He's really found something in the second half. Shows you that he's a player of some future. Colby applies the tackle, the ball to ground. That was Big Groom. Gets it off now to Cox. That's Damien Cox. To the outer side it goes. White on the left boot. Oh, it's a 9-iron. Set up his teammate Chapman on Brain, and the ball's thumped across the line for a throw-in.
Well, it's amazing that earlier on in the game they seem to shoot out and try and find the player as they're getting tired. Let's face it, they're getting tired. Even the trainers are getting tired running out to the players, and it's just going to be who's going to make a mistake and when to see who's going to win this game.
Zilla cleverly got the ball out to Pesh. Pesh has got better as this game's gone on. Now it's Moore with a long kick forward. Neiman was shoveled in the back, but play on the call. And this fella hasn't done a bad job, you must admit, Chris Groom.
Well, he could have had the opportunity, David, to chuck it in, but he's kept right at it. And, well, I suppose you'd have to give the honours to Neiman, but he hasn't given up all day, which shows great character.
Pretty even, but you can keep your eye on both of those young kids as players of the future. Clanger Clengens, we mentioned, he's the danger, but he's 70 metres out and he won't make the distance. He is a big game player. He kicked 8 goals last week. He has 43 goals for the year, and he knows where they are.
Great character too, David, and South Adelaide are going to have to make something of this forward thrust.
Played 13 league games this year, so he is a player of some quality. The ball goes forward. Oh, it's the South Adelaide mark. It's been paid in the square. Big Keane, the premier full forward in the reserves competition. 81 goals before today, 3 in this match already, and now a big mark.
Yeah, well, there's on your screen there, a beautiful mark in front. Big McCarthy should have gone the belt, but he didn't. He let Peter Keane get in front and take the grab, and he'd be sort of kicking himself right at this point.
Keane, the opportunity to put the Panthers back in front. Don't write them off yet, and he has. They've hit the lead again.
Well, I suppose this is a very worthy grand final. 2 good sides. Eagles finishing on top throughout the year. South Adelaide fighting their way back with a last goal last week from Clanger Clengens to get themselves into this grand final. They haven't chucked it in. They shot away in the first quarter to kick 9 goals. It's been a battle, hard battle all day. They hit the front again by a point, and we are about 11 minutes into this last quarter. So it'll be very interesting, as I said before, who gets that final break.
It's a 1-point ball game in the reserves grand final. South 14-7 to the Eagles 13-12. Crowd building. Superb side here from the back of Football Park. The bounce favours McCarthy. Doesn't get the tap away. Finally in goes Turner. He can't get a kick away. Baker's smothered. Costa in there. He gets it out in towards White. White gets it out towards centre wing. It's a race for pace. Well played there by the Eagles. Out towards centre wing. If they can pick it up, they can't. Dewhurst in there is White as well. Dewhurst gets it out. Here's a chance now for Powell. Gets it over to a teammate in Costa. Turner it was. Oh, the kick is a shocker. Lukosius jams it onto his boot. Back towards the half-forward line. Neiman up. Couldn't find it. Going through well and doing it well as Groom. Gives it away to Costa. He can bolt. 1, 2 bounces. Mittens waiting for the football. He's going to get it. Souther through the half-forward line. He's got to get a kick away in a worry. Hurry. Clengens there, but well done in defence. He's coming across as Troy Searle and takes a timely mark.
Well, was it a timely mark? Now the Eagles will need to mount an attack. Chapman sets it up from defence. Oh. Pesh Pesh it was. In fact, Freeborn diving for that ball, couldn't complete the mark, and there'll be a bounce.
What a mistake there by Chapman, because right at the 13-minute mark of this last quarter, one mistake, David. The next goal, I think, is going to be very, very important, but both sides tend to be a little bit tired.
The game in the balance. Foot over the top of the ball, pulled off it by Keane. Well done. Costa through. Now King for the Eagles. Cleverly done. Oh, Hannum back on the field after a rest. Drives forward. Into space it goes. Pesh. Will the ball sit? Powell right there in pursuit. The fresh legs. Powell. Cleverly done. Wide he goes. They settle. Damien Cox, time for a bounce. There's nothing up forward for him to kick to, so he holds the ball. Has a bounce. He's looking. He did that pretty well. Nowhere to go. Finally, he finds Costa. 14 minutes gone. Anyone's ball game. Brain over that player's head. Oh, Hannum missed it. It was an easy one. Keane picks it up. Tries to snap for goal. McInerney. Desperation. Couldn't dispatch the handball. Brain out again to Keane. Shoots for goal. Offline, 1 point. It's a 2-point ball game, Rick.
Yes, it certainly is, and it's very, very exciting here. And there's the big fella there. He had an opportunity to finish it off, and I think that in this last quarter, South Adelaide, they've had a number of opportunities, and they should have made the most of it. They should have had another couple of goals on the board.
Oh, David, sorry, I'll make that, Rick. They're all running on rubberised legs. They're that tired they can hardly scratch themselves, both teams at the moment. This is going to finish up a war of attrition, and the fitter side's going to win in the end, I think. White gets it out to Clengens. Gets a long handball. Here's a chance now. Turner gets it out. Cox around the corner, but gee, he didn't look. He just had a kick. Coming through strongly now is McInerney. Kicks long to the half-forward line. Chance out there. Freeborn will come across goal, looking for Neiman. He's 40 metres out on the left leg. He's confident, goes for goal, and he is offline. Gee, David, I wonder whether he should have waited just a little longer, but gee, didn't the big fellow do it well?
He did do it well, Ian. He had plenty of confidence. He just swung onto the left boot, made the distance, did it oh so easy, but just missed.
Yes, he certainly did, and like you mentioned, I thought he could only kick about 35, 40 metres. He's kicking about 60 metres, both feet. He's been very surprising, and he's been a very, very good player today.
Well, I must say, I've always liked Neiman. A lot of people place great expectation on him as a junior, and I often think that hurts their development. But remember, big men often take a little while to develop. He's going to be a real star in the future if he keeps improving at the rate he has. Certainly a player to watch. White to Cox. This is Ian Cox, but he was out of play before he dispatched the ball forward. 16 minutes gone, final term. It's a 1-point ball game. South have the lead, but the Eagles have the ball in their forward zone. A very good crowd building. Still tickets available. If you're contemplating coming down, you've still got time. Half an hour before the first bounce. Remember, this game will finish at 1:40 regardless. Neiman, desperately done, the big fellow. Dispatches the handball. Now opportunity for Zilla, but it's out of bounds on the full, and you're quite right, Ian, legs are getting very tight.
Oh, David, they're running from memory, I can tell you, but it's a very warm day. It must be close to 30 degrees. And Rick, it's certainly going to maybe tell on West Adelaide in the senior game.
Yes, I think it will, but they've got a pretty good side, pretty young side, and I think you'll find that the conditions, everyone will be thinking they couldn't wait to get out there, and the first couple of minutes are going to be important. I think West Adelaide are playing a very, very good brand of football. But this game here, Ian, I'm being very, very surprised. I haven't seen too many reserves games throughout the year, but the overall performance of every player on the ground today, whether they win or lose, they ought to be congratulated, because it is very warm conditions. They've gone in hard. The mistakes have been very, very minimal, really. I've seen a lot of games that, a huge amount of mistakes, but they've been very slick. They've been kicking to position, and this is an excellent game of football to set the scene for the 91 grand final.
South by a point. Being ridden into the ground was Powell. Finally, a long handball comes out from Zilla. Coming across strongly now is Turner. Hooks it back towards centre wing. Bullis is out there. It wasn't Turner, it was Damien Cox that hooked it back, and Bullis has got the ball at centre wing. Well, he's 150 metres from his goal square. Kicks in long in towards the half-forward line. South back in defence. Going through there. The South Adelaide is Groom. He left the football behind. Powell can't keep the ball in play, and it's another throw in on the half-forward right flank.
Let's put you on the spot, Days. You're an old South man. I'm an old Eagle. Who are you barracking for right now?
Well, I am a bench sitter. Hopefully, David, we're both professional, and may the best side win.
Yeah, come on, the Eagles. As Pesh with the ball at half forward, goes to Foot. Oh, it's a great kick, just over the head of Foot though, and little long. And I think perhaps if Foot had been a little bit fresher, he might well have made that mark. and an opportunity to score.
David, would you get your elbow out of my mouth?
That's the great thing about football, and you can bet your life this afternoon when North Adelaide take on West Adelaide, there'll be some mates doing that in the crowd, I can tell you. Bullis over the top. Powell. He's done pretty well since he came on, Powell. He's been a real terrier. Rowan McGrath and Baker contest. Oh, Troy Searle, he has been a great player for the Eagles. Colby got beaten by the bounce. Now Clengen's over the top of the ball. He goes to ground. Oh, Cox got a knee in the back and a free kick, the result.
Yes, great work there by the South Adelaide little fella. We've got a lot of hair there. Look at over the top. Yes, magnificent. And he's not too flash as the South Adelaide trainers rush in and try to help him there.
Face as he went down.
Yes, well, the big number 37 there for the Eagles. He was all over. Big Rowan McGrath really got his knees right into the middle of his back. They need the breather, I'll give you the tip. I bet the South Adelaide players are thinking, well, thank you, lucky stars. We've got 2 or 3 seconds off.
No, I think they'll be thinking scoring. 1 point is too slender a margin to defend in a grand final when your opponent has the breeze. White, pick number 15, a real solid performer today. Towards half forward he goes. The pack sets themselves. Oh, there's a good mark taken there. Try and pick that up. It's Turner, and he's cramped as well. So Jason Turner, only a 21-year-old. We watched him in the first term and stamped him as a player to watch, but he's down with cramp. So Kerry Brain, poor Yarrawonga man, with the kick towards centre forward. That's the place to put it. Randall Bone was underneath that one, couldn't quite set himself. Oh, there's a free kick as the players pulled off the ball, but the advantage is allowed to players. Chapman for the Eagles comes away, drives to centre forward. Bullis got a push in the back. The umpire saw the infringement. What a crucial free kick. Bullis is 60 metres out. He won't make the distance, but out on the lead. Oh, and a mile by himself was, who was that free ball? No, it was Stone. Well, he missed the mark, Stone, but gee, he had a great opportunity to score, and in the finish now it's a South Adelaide free kick.
I reckon the Eagles will win this. I reckon South Adelaide have got so many players that can't scratch themselves. You've got Bone who can't run. We just saw a player Turner down with cramp, and they've got young Cox now who's got an injury. And it's going to be the fittest who are going to win, I can tell you, and he's just kicked out of bounds on the full. Only 1 point the difference at the 21-minute mark.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, Ian, because usually, as you mentioned, their legs are like jelly. The brain's pretty much the same, so they start making a couple of mistakes. It's going to be the end result, I think, here. 1 or 2 mistakes. Who's going to make them and get that early goal is going to make all the difference.
1 point the difference in the reserves grand final. Live on Nine's Wide World of Sport from Footy Park. Throw in right forward pocket. Now, can the Eagles sneak through a point? Better still for them. They need a goal. Neiman comes up over the top. That's not a bad start. Getting back, it's Cox. Gets it out to a teammate, and running away is White. Through the half-back line. Now, can he get a player who can find or can run? He kicks long to Clengens. Clengens is eased out of it, and brilliant mark there by Troy Searle. And he has been a top player for the Eagles. Goes back to centre field, or he's put it across to Moore, or can he find the football? He's got it eventually. Moore from centre half back goes towards the half forward line, or intercepted there. The player for South Adelaide is Osborne. He's in the road of the football. Now these fellows are a dead stop. They are so tired they can't move. Oh, intercept, and well done McGrath. If he can find the handle, slips it across. Oh, animate is through the centre line. Half forward line, he kicks in long. Bullis is there looking for the football. He's got it. Paid the mark. Rick Davies. Ian Borchard's looking pained.
Yes, he certainly, and I mentioned there, I don't think from here, and I know we get the advantage to see the second grab, there's no way in the world that he should have marked that. He should have marked it, but he shouldn't have been paid it.
Bullis from 35 metres out, kick number 11. Players running from everywhere, socks are down, sweat pouring out of their bodies. Gee, are they tired? He's booted too. This could take the Eagles to their maiden grand final premiership. Bullis's kick is a nice looking kick, and he's bottled it. The Eagles are in front.
Well, after an ordinary first half, Paul Bullis is looking like that he's going to be the difference between these two sides. Looking at the replay again, and I know that we can't play the replay. The umpires haven't the benefit of the replay, but I thought he only just touched it. The umpire has done a very good job today, both umpires. There's no question of that. I haven't got a grizzle about one little decision, but Paul Bullis has put the Eagles in front.
The Eagles by 5 points, and what a great build-up to this afternoon's grand final as West Adelaide and North Adelaide are warming up in the rooms. This game has hit fever pitch with the Eagles hitting the front. Now it's South Adelaide into attack. Keane, he's the man who can swing it up forward. South Adelaide needs somebody to score a goal. Bone, he's the man. Hands the ball, couldn't complete the mark. McEnany over the top of it, shovels it across the line. The goal umpire was indicating it was out of bounds. And there'll be a throw in. The crowd calling from out of bounds on the full, Rick.
Well, there's no question from here it was out of bounds on the full. As you can see, Neil Baum there going along there with Bruce Winter, trying to help him out. But from mine, it was out on the full.
Well, the goal umpire indicated it was out of bounds. The boundary umpire was caught a little bit behind. Langer Clengens, what can he do? Can he create something? Zilla for the Eagles. Forward they go. Neiman and Groom. That's been a great contest. We've mentioned that before. Oh, cleverly done off the ground. That was Freeborn, and the ball across the line. Now we're 24 and a half minutes in, and here's this play you're talking about, Rick. It did come off the boot, and it is out of bounds on the full. You're quite right, but it's gone unnoticed. Now, if it's a draw this game, it will be replayed next week, but the siren must sound at 1:40 p.m. to make way for the pre-grand final festivities. We've played 24 and a half minutes.
10 minutes away, David. It won't get to that.
8.5 minutes, Daisy. Thank you. Zilla through. These players have shown true grit today. Neiman, cleverly done. Pesh, off it goes. Moore on the lead. The opportunity now for Stone. Couldn't get there. Well done. 19 was Richard Harrison for South Adelaide. He's played a great game. Goes to ground. Is that holding the ball? Play on's the call. Bullis, he's been in everything in the second half. Bullis, instrumental in getting the Eagles back into this game. Costa. Well, the crowd's got right behind this game, and why wouldn't they? It's been a beauty. McEnany to ground. Chapman inside the line, did well. Brings it back. Colby, the target, finds his man. Now Zilla's at centre field, but they've got run through Chapman. Chapman goes long. Oh, he's put it over the head of Baker. Baker didn't want it. Neiman's got beaten by the bounce, and now it's Groom from centre half back. He's played a pretty good game for the Panthers. Drives towards Bone, and Bone's got it. Well, Randall Bone, 45 metres out. We're almost 26 minutes into this final quarter, and it's the Eagles leading by 5 points.
Well, what a magnificent mark there by Bone. Isn't it amazing? You're sitting up here, you start to barrack after a while, but what a great game. I mentioned that the skills have been there. They've been marking at one grab, and this is a fantastic game of football.
Kick number 8 to Randall Bone. He has one goal already. A crow of the future. Let's see what he can do with this kick. The whole club waits the outcome, and it's a behind. So they now trail by 4 points. Can they get up?
He'd be very disappointed with that. Look at that. He's hitting his fist together, thinking to himself, he didn't kick that right. But you only get one opportunity in a grand final, Ian Day, don't you? And if you miss it, it's bad luck. You think about it for 12 months.
No prizes for second, Rick. You and I both played for South. David played for Torrens. Let's just keep him out of the commentary as well. Ball out of play, but this is serious for the players out there. They've worked their hearts out. 4 points for the Eagles. 27 minutes gone. I don't think South has got enough run in their legs to get a goal. Time will tell, and the ball is out of bounds on the half-forward line. Funked away now, and they just simply can't raise their legs. The Eagles have just got to keep the ball out of play and let those precious seconds run away. Half-forward left flank almost up to centre wing. 14-13 to 14-9. Only 4 points in it. South haven't given up now. In goes Mitten towards the half-forward line. Moore getting back there, and he goes for the safety line. South 20 metres closer. Can they do it? 4 points the difference over 27 minutes now. There hasn't been a lot of goals in this last quarter. Coming now towards Big Keane. Smothered off the boot. Baker goes through. Clengens close to the line. Can't keep it in play. And David, can they hang in there?
Well, neither side should be embarrassed at the end of this game. It's been a great contest. Ian Borchard, the South Adelaide reserves coach, has been out, jumping out of the bunker. He's really motivated, calling instructions to his players. Searle taken to ground. Clengens, he was the hero last week. What can he do today? Bone, push, Bone, got hands to the ball, couldn't take the mark, gets off the handball, shot for goal. Osborne, he's got it! They've hit the lead, 2 points up, and Ian Borchard's a very happy man.
Well, look at Ian Borchard there. And look at the young fella there, number 60. He's absolutely thrilled with himself. Big bone. He held onto the ball for a touch longer over the top. He got it onto his left foot and shot it. Look at the goal umpire there. He's as thrilled as we are. Up comes another goal, and that puts South Adelaide a couple of points in front. Oh, what a fantastic game. What a fantastic finish.
South Adelaide by 2 points, 28 minutes gone. The Eagles have still got a chance. White through, slipped it across. Powell on the left leg. It's all South out here. Dewhurst has got the football now. He ought to slow it down. He's got the experience. But gee, that last goal coming from South Adelaide went through knee-high to a grasshopper. It went through all the players and they just didn't hit anyone. The lead is on. That's good pass. Might be a free kick. Siren's gone! South Adelaide have come from the clouds to get up to win by 2 points. Oh, what a game, Rick Davies.
Well, what a fantastic game. And there you see Ian Borchardt, West Adelaide in 83, captained the side. And here he is today, changed clubs. And he's absolutely thrilled. And look at the runner. Well, they've done a treat, South Adelaide. They certainly have. But I was right, Ian Day. 9 goals in that first quarter. I wasn't confident. But it always says the side that gets away will get the points.
So South Adelaide have won their first reserve premiership since 1979. The final score, South Adelaide 15 goals, 9-99. The Eagles, a disappointing loser, 14 goals, 13-97. We'll be back with the North Adelaide, West Adelaide grand final after this break.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Reserves Grand Final, and they're the victors, Rick, in the screens. Congratulations, South Adelaide, indeed. But, gee, spare a thought for the losers, Rick.
Well, I suppose the winners can laugh and the losers can please themselves, but we know, both of us, never on winning and losing, you know how you feel as a winner. And Big David Baker, the captain of the day, there's a young Eagles player. They played their heart out today. It was a fantastic effort by both sides and a fantastic game, Neville.
Indeed it was, and just towards the end there when they kicked the goal, South Adelaide, Ian Borchardt jumped out of the bunker and Malcolm Whitford came up. I think Ian wanted to get out on the ground. He came up and put his hand on his back. I guess he just said to him, well, you can't do any more. They've got to win it from here themselves.
Well, and you can't go any closer than he did because he would have been out on the ground. But young Andrew Osborne, what will he be thinking right now? He kicked that last winning goal, went between the legs, and the goal umpire there up in the commentary box. We were all barracking because it was a great game of football. South Adelaide kicking 9 goals in the first quarter. I thought they jumped away, but to the Eagles' credit, they came right back and made a real game of it and could have pinched the game.
Indeed they could have, and for Bruce Winter, his first year at the Amalgamated Club, a disappointing season, but he's done well to get him there, Rick.
Yes, he certainly has. He's had a number of players there, and there he is, left hand in his pocket, walking up what could have been. But, as I said before, the winners can laugh and the losers can please themselves till next year.
Indeed they can, and we'll be back with you after the break for our live coverage of the grand final.